Before the fall of the Scatter Thunder clan, a battle of gods shook the stars. The head elder of the Scatter Thunder clan, a terrifying master of the fifth heaven's blight, unleashed his full, ancient fury upon Wang Lin. In a desperate bid to end the intruder, he opened the ancient thunder realm, summoning 8 ancient thunder dragons from the void. These were not mere beasts, they were the souls of the heavens and Appos, strongest messengers, capable of annihilating entire star domains. Caught in a life-and-death crisis, Wang Lin was pushed to his absolute limit. His body was on the verge of collapse, his ancient god stars flickering in the storm. But in that moment of despair, a transformation occurred. The mysterious Soul Lasher, a whip that had accompanied him for centuries, shed its skin to reveal its true blinding golden form. The million-world soul-sealing whip. With one stroke of the golden light, Wang Lin tore the 8 dragons asunder. Then, in an act of maddening hunger, he used his soul-devourer nature to do the impossible. He inhaled the souls of the 8 dragons, forcing his own origin soul to evolve into a true bolt of thunder. Knowing he could not finish the Elder in open space, Wang Lin lured him into the 7 million worlds, a prison realm where the captive Taoist scattered spirit waited. Together, they unleashed a forbidden formation fueled by the will of 100 million lives. Using the 7-foot heaven-chopping sword, a blade forged from the hope and sacrifice of an entire world, Wang Lin delivered 7 strikes of pure resentment. The Scatter Thunder clan's holy object, the Eternal Thunderbolt, was forced to flee, and the once mighty head elder was reduced to a broken origin soul, seized by Wang Lin's cold hand. The barrier of the 7 million worlds shattered, and for the first time in millennia, its people tasted true freedom. Now, with the head elder captured and the clan in chaos, Wang Lin turns his eyes toward the ultimate prize, the total refinement of the Eternal Thunderbolt. The blinding golden light was glaring, attracting the attention of all the Scatter Thunder clan members. When their gazes fell on the golden light, their expressions changed greatly. Head Elder. This.
Impossible.
How can Head Elder be captured? Could it be that a third-step cultivator has acted? What he said before was true. Head Elder's body has collapsed and even his origin soul was nearly destroyed, leaving only this stand of remnant soul. Who the hell is this person? Head Elder has fallen and was captured by him. The Eternal Thunderbolt returned weakened. An uproar was set off in the Scatter Thunder clan. The Head Elder was the spiritual pillar of the entire clan and their ancestor. They didn't believe Wang Lin's words before, but now that they had seen the Head Elder's origin soul, their eyes were filled with fear. Their minds trembled as their spiritual pillar had completely collapsed. If even the Head Elder had fallen, what could they do to resist? All of this happened in an instant. Wang Lin was completely ruthless and merciless to the people of the Outer Realm. When he said that the Head Elder was captured, he knew that with their belief in the Head Elder, the clan members wouldn't believe him, but he could use this to bury a seed. Then he would break through the formation in one strike and then, at the moment when their minds were all shaken, he would take out the Soul Lasher. He wouldn't need to use it to attack. Just the sight of the Head Elder's origin soul would be like a merciless strike at the hearts of the Scatter Thunder clan. This would cause the seed he had buried to suddenly erupt. Just as Wang Lin expected, the entire Scatter Thunder clan was in chaos. When the Scatter Thunder clan went into chaos due to their Head Elder being captured, there was a flash of killing intent in Wang Lin's eyes. As the thunder roared, Wang Lin waved his hand and there was a flash of blood light. The invincible blood sword shot out directly toward the fourth Heaven's Blight cultivator. This was the ace Wang Lin had set. The blood light moved at an unimaginable speed. When the fourth Heaven's Blight cultivator noticed, the blood sword had already pierced through between his eyebrows. A miserable cry echoed, awakening all the Scatter Thunder clan members. Although they had only been in chaos for a moment, the price was extremely heavy. There was a big hole between the eyebrows of the fourth Heaven's Blight cultivator, and his body collapsed. His origin soul escaped while screaming, but it couldn't outrun the blood sword and was pierced once more. Even if he wasn't already shaking, this battle would still be easy because this fourth Heaven's Blight cultivator was a thunder cultivator, but he wouldn't have died instantly like now. If it wasn't a thunder cultivator, Wang Lin would be in a difficult battle. After all, with his current power, he could beat third Heaven's Blight cultivators but would face trouble against fourth Heaven's Blight cultivators. All of this happened too fast. Before the Scatter Thunder clan had accepted the defeat of their head elder, Wang Lin shocked them by killing a fourth Heaven's Blight elder. Wang Lin's expression was indifferent, and he no longer paid any attention to them. The blood sword flew around him and the Thunder Dragon moved forward. All the cultivators before him retreated. They didn't dare to talk half a step forward. These people's minds are a mess. Taoist Scattered Spirit, you should be fine with your strength. Wang Lin stood on top of the Thunder Dragon as it flew toward the Scattered Thunder Clan's Holy Land. The Holy Land was in the middle of the 16 cultivation planets. This was the second time Wang Lin had come here. When he arrived, his eyes lit up and he looked at the Holy Land with a solemn expression. He sat on the Thunder Dragon and his hands formed a seal. His body merged with the Thunder Dragon, leaving no way to distinguish them from each other. As killing intent flashed through his eyes, the Thunder Dragon let out a heaven-shattering roar. There were a lot of Scatter Thunder clan cultivators outside the Holy Land. However, when they saw the giant Thunder Dragon, they all screamed in horror and quickly retreated. Thunderous rumbles echoed when the Thunder Dragon rushed at the Holy Land and smashed into it. The Holy Land rumbled. There was also formation around it, but it rumbled and collapsed when the Thunder Dragon collided with it. The continent trembled and piece of its edges collapsed. The Holy Land trembled as if there were dragons moving underground. Popping sounds echoed and cracks spread across the Holy Land. The rumbling from the temple on the Holy Land became even louder. The eternal thunderbolt inside the temple had been weakened a lot. The moment Wang Lin's Thunder Dragon shattered the formation, a thunderous rumble came from the eternal thunderbolt. A thunderstorm erupted from the temple, tearing it to pieces, and the pieces scattered in all directions. The moment the temple collapsed, the eternal thunderbolt seemed to realize that it was in danger and began to shrink. Then it began to fly toward the endless void. A giant vortex appeared in the void far away. The vortex was covered in thunder, and the eternal thunderbolt was heading toward the center of this vortex. Seeing that the eternal thunderbolt was about to escape, Wang Lin suddenly stood up and enclosed in on it with 3 steps. He was currently under the giant vortex, and a majority of the eternal thunderbolt had already gone inside it. Only a portion of it remained outside. Wang Lin didn't hesitate to reach out and grab the escaping eternal thunderbolt. Then he mercilessly pulled. "Get down here!" A thunderous roar echoed and a roar came from the vortex along with a powerful impact. Wang Lin coughed out blood. He was unable to resist the intense power from the vortex. A majority of the eternal thunderbolt was pulled into the vortex due to this force, leaving only a few hundred feet outside. Wang Lin's body was also pulled in. It looked like he was going to be pulled into the vortex. Wang Lin's expression was ferocious. He had done whatever it took, and in the end he had worked with Taoist Scattered Spirit to kill the Scatter Thunder clan's head elder. All of this was to absorb this eternal thunderbolt. However, at the most critical moment, the eternal thunderbolt was going to escape. If it was escaping through the stars, Wang Lin could chase it. But what happened was beyond Wang Lin's imagination. The aura coming out from the vortex was unfamiliar to Wang Lin, and something in there caused a hint of fear to appear in his heart. This feeling made his scalp numb, like how Taoist Scattered Spirit felt when he saw the so-called celestial realm for the first time. This eternal thunderbolt I have my eyes on. No one can steal it from me. I'll kill celestials and gods if they try. There was a defying will in Wang Lin's heart, and after experiencing the defying will of the countless people in the 7 million worlds, he wouldn't allow whatever was on the other side of the vortex to steal from him. Ancient God body expand. As Wang Lin held on to the eternal thunderbolt being pulled away, the ancient God stars between his eyebrows rotated rapidly. In an instant, he grew to almost 10,000 feet tall into his true ancient God body. A 10,000-foot ancient God had heaven-shattering power. Wang Lin's arms also grew. The blood in his body circulated rapidly, and his heart beat faster to increase blood flow. This gave him even more power. The ancient stars formed a storm as they rotated between his eyebrows. Ancient God aura surged through every inch of his body, forming an indescribable storm. This storm fused with his heartbeat, forming a heaven-shaking roar. All of this created an explosive force in Wang Lin's face. The veins on his face swelled as he viciously pulled down. "Come down!" Thunderous rumbles echoed violently and Wang Lin's body retreated like crazy. He forcibly pulled the eternal thunderbolt 1,000 feet out from the vortex. Another powerful force came out from the vortex, holding on to the thunderbolt, and began battling Wang Lin. I won't allow anyone to steal from me. Wang Lin had a ferocious expression as every part of his body moved, and his heart beat at an earth-shattering rate. The stars between his eyebrows were rotating so fast that it was impossible to see them clearly. It was even impossible to see them clearly with divine sense. An even more powerful ancient god aura came from his body, and the world trembled. A faint angry roar came from the vortex. With this pull, the eternal thunderbolt was pulled out a few thousand more feet by Wang Lin. This scene caused the countless Scatter Thunder clan cultivators to become gobsmacked. A muffled voice came out from the vortex, and even the entire ancient star system seemed to tremble before it. Let go at once. This is not something one person can own. If you continue, I'll kill you. At this moment, the countless people in the ancient star system heard this voice. Inside the Blue Silk clan on Mount Blue, Li Qianmei calmly looked into the distance. There was confusion and struggle in her eyes. It was as if a memory she couldn't cut off or forget was slowly awakening. Dao Master Blue Dream beside her let out a sigh and stopped playing the zither. He was about to speak when his expression suddenly changed. He rushed out from the house. His eyes became cold and he stared at the endless starry sky. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. The sign that the ancient imperial concubine had predicted has appeared. Dao Master Blue Dream's expression was gloomy as he looked up into the void. His gaze seemed to be able to penetrate the void. At this instant, not only Dao Master Blue Dream, but the expressions of almost all the third-step cultivators changed. They looked up at the sky with extremely gloomy expressions. Part of the ancient celestial realm existed within the ancient star system, though few people knew of this. Inside it were a few women, and they all opened their eyes and looked up. Within the ancient star system, there was a huge figure quickly moving through space. It was Tua-san. His eyes were red, and his right hand was repeatedly hammering the spot between his eyebrows, creating thunderous rumbles that spread far and wide. You want to make a god a slave? What a dream! I'm a noble god and you're a mere cultivator that wants to take over my soul. What wishful thinking! Get the hell out of here! Get the hell out of here! There was madness in Tua-san's eyes and voice. Tua-san suddenly stopped and turned around, and his bloodshot eyes stared into the starry sky. The aura of my clan. This aura is very, very familiar. I vaguely know him. No, it was Tu-si who knew him. The voice echoed in Wang Lin's ears like a thunderous rumble, but his hands held the eternal thunderbolt tightly. Not only did he loosen his hands, he mercilessly pulled the eternal thunderbolt once more. What a joke! Why should I let go just because you're telling me to? This eternal thunderbolt belongs to me. If you continue to be stubborn, don't blame me for being ruthless. The muffled sound from inside the vortex became a roar, as if Wang Lin's refusal had angered the mysterious existence. Thunder swam around the vortex and rotated rapidly as if something was going to charge out. Wang Lin could clearly feel this anger, and his eyes turned cold. Anger. If my fire essence was complete, I could make you suffer just from that anger. Even if you didn't die, you would be seriously injured. Wang Lin held the eternal thunderbolt and mercilessly pulled down while the ancient god power surged through him. The eternal thunderbolt was almost pulled completely out of the vortex. The roar from the vortex became even more intense. Although it was pulling as well, it was obvious it couldn't compare to Wang Lin's ancient god power. Traitor of the Void Extinction Dao, evil remnant of the descendants of the ancient gods. If not for the fact I'm very familiar with the aura around your body, I would have long destroyed you. Since you're looking for death, I'll comply with your wish, the thunderous voice in the vortex said. The thunder at the center of the vortex collapsed and turned into black gas. The gas formed two giant hands that tore the vortex from both sides. In an instant, the vortex was ripped open by this pair of giant hands. The gap ripped open by the vortex was completely dark, and it was impossible to see what was inside, except for the rough arms that were coming out. The moment the arms appeared, space itself began to collapse as if it shouldn't exist in this world. Wang Lin felt as if he had been struck by lightning and his eyes turned bloodshot. He seemed to recognize that arm. He recognized these arms because he had seen one a long time ago. He had fought against it over 1,000 years ago in an unforgettable battle. At that time, he didn't know much about cultivation or the secrets of the inner and outer realms. He was still ignorant. However, after experiencing more than 1,000 years, every time he thought about what happened back then, he would be shaken. A sense of madness came from Wang Lin's body. He stared at the arms and let out a miserable cry. It's you, the one who stole one air soul from me back on planet Suzaku. Messenger of the heavens. Wang Lin rarely let out roars, but right now he was mad like a beast, and anyone who saw him would be shaken. A cold snort came from the vortex and then an arm mercilessly reached for Wang Lin. There were thunder and lightning surrounding the arm, making it seem as if the arm itself was thunder. It descended like a bolt of thunder and instantly reached toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin was already crazy. In his whole life he had one bottom line. Anything to do with Li Muwen was enough to make him go from absolutely calm to completely insane. At this moment, he didn't hesitate to let go of the eternal thunderbolt and charge at the arm. As he moved, the ancient god power in his body rumbled and his cultivation raged. A giant ancient god silhouette appeared behind him, giving off a powerful pressure that suppressed space itself. This is...
Tu sais.
A shocking voice came from the vortex. Fire! Wang Lin's eyes were filled with endless madness as he raised his left hand. Blue fire appeared from his left eye and immediately erupted from his body. A blue vermilion bird appeared and let out a cry. As it cried, the blue fire immediately spread, and in an instant, a sea of fire covered the area. Thunder! Wang Lin's right eye flashed and so did the thunder mark. The giant dragon under him coiled around him, and the vermilion bird and the dragon crossed. A shocking spell of thunder and fire appeared. Battle! Wang Lin roared as the blood sword appeared and instantly grew to 1,000 feet. Wang Lin grasped the sword in his hand. The moment he grabbed the blood sword, the ancient god silhouette raised its hands. There was a flash of bloodlight and a 10,000-foot blood sword appeared in its hands. At this moment, Wang Lin's ancient god power entered the blood sword. The sea of blue fire surged into the blood sword. Even the blue vermilion bird became part of the blood sword. At the same time, the thunder dragon suddenly entered Wang Lin's body. Wang Lin's body was like a black hole, absorbing the entire thunder dragon. Then he redirected the power of the thunder dragon into the blood sword. The fusion of thunder and fire, the eruption of ancient god power, and the battle intent erupting from the Star of Law caused Wang Lin to mercilessly chop down as the hand reached forward. The world rumbled, an unimaginable ripple spread, and the holy land below them shattered. The 16 planets were all affected by this impact and were pushed away, changing their trajectories. This sword pierced the heavens. The bloodlight was blinding and became the only light source around. The hand that had reached toward Wang Lin trembled and a line of blood appeared around the wrist of the hand. One strike caused the hand to detach from the arm, and blood sprayed everywhere. A muffled scream came from the vortex and the arm withdrew back to the vortex. However, as it retreated, the blood sword charged once more at the giant vortex. The strike caused the vortex to rumble, but it wasn't damaged. Instead, the strike had caused it to rotate even faster due to a powerful force hitting it. The arm retreated back and the vortex disappeared as if it never existed. Just as it was about to disappear, Wang Lin stepped forward with the blood sword and charged forward with bloodshot eyes. Even though the sword was invincible, no matter how much Wang Lin struck it, the vortex wasn't affected at all. He watched the vortex slowly disappear and heard the angry roar that came from within. "Why do you have that sword, that sword?" The voice dissipated and the vortex gradually disappeared. Wang Lin's last strike descended right as the vortex disappeared in mist. "I don't care who you are or where you come from, but one day I'll break open the heavens and find you all. Back then, before my cultivation was complete, you took my wife's soul and caused her to be in her current state. I'll not let this vendetta go." Wang Lin's expression was ferocious. This was the first time he had become angry since coming to the ancient star system. All of this happened too fast for anyone to react. Too fast for the eternal thunderbolt to enter the vortex. The vortex had disappeared, leaving the eternal thunderbolt with no place to run. Wang Lin suddenly turned around and stared at the eternal thunderbolt. After being injured by the sword in the 7 million worlds, it was extremely weak. Then just now it was affected by the shockwave of Wang Lin's madness. The moment Wang Lin looked at it, it rapidly retreated as if it had intelligence. Where are you running to? Wang Lin was still filled with killing intent, as he used spatial bending to appear before the eternal thunderbolt. His right hand reached out mercilessly. Thunderous rumbles came from the eternal thunderbolt. It stopped running and instead charged at Wang Lin. However, Wang Lin immediately seized it with his right hand, and the eternal thunderbolt began to struggle. Wang Lin immediately opened his mouth to devour it. The eternal thunderbolt was instantly devoured by him. Refine this eternal thunderbolt. Refine the 8 thunder dragons. Take all of the head elders accompanying thunder, and my thunder essence will be complete. My cultivation level will increase. Wang Lin had cut off the hand of the messenger of the heavens. Although the messenger of heavens had still not shown itself, it was far stronger than the one Wang Lin had encountered on planet Suzaku. However, Wang Lin had still cut off its hand using his thunder, fire, battle intent, and blood sword and forced it to retreat. After taking the eternal thunderbolt, Wang Lin suppressed the madness and sorrow that had surfaced due to the appearance of the messenger of the heavens. He waved his sleeve and the palm of the messenger of the heavens fell before him. After the palm was cut off, it was no longer flesh and blood. It was now a palm-shaped crystal that gave off a bright glow. After looking at it, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. This palm was lacking a palm print. All human hands have palm prints. No matter how high one's cultivation level was, they wouldn't choose to destroy their palm print. Could it be that the messengers of the heavens all don't have palm prints? Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he put the stone palm in his storage space. He looked around at the Scatter Thunder clan members that didn't dare to get close. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and he was about to leave. As for the cleanup, Daoist scattered spirit would do the rest. None of this was related to Wang Lin anymore. Just as Wang Lin was about to leave, a person charged out from the distance after hesitating for a long time. Starlight surrounded him and there was an awl-like object under his feet as he flew toward Wang Lin. Master, do you still remember me? The cultivator's body trembled. When he uttered these words, it was the same as betraying the Scatter Thunder clan. Although the clan was facing a crisis, he could still be killed by his clan first. However, thanks to the determination in his heart, he didn't have time to think too much about it. Damn it, a person has to make a decision in their life. This will all depend on my luck. If I stay, I'll die, so I'll follow Master even if I'm betraying my clan. I don't care. Wang Lin stopped and turned around with a cold gaze. His gaze landed in the cultivator's eyes. This person trembled as he clenched his teeth and quickly said, Master, I'm Zhong Big Red. Zhong as in little Zhong. Red as in little red. I'm Zhong Big Red, Master. Master for a day, Master for life. Master, don't leave me. I'm willing to serve Master for the rest of my life and never betray you. Wang Lin's expression was still cold as he slowly said, You want to come with me? Zhong Big Red quickly flew out further so he wouldn't be killed by his own clan. After he heard Wang Lin's words, he quickly nodded and said, Master, as long as you let this little one follow, I'll do whatever Master asks. Whether it is setting fire or stealing, I'm proficient in anything. I'm no worse than that Su Ligua, Master. Please give me a chance, Master. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he looked at Zhong Big Red. Then he turned around and waved his sleeves. A wind wrapped around Zhong Big Red and put him into Wang Lin's storage space to accompany Su Ligua. He then took a step and crossed an immeasurable distance to appear where Daoist Scattered Spirit was battling the Scatter Thunder clan's Heaven's Blight cultivators. Spells filled the area. When Wang Lin appeared, his eyes glowed red. His G-realm shot out as red lightning and it was simply too fast. It drilled into the head of a first Heaven's Blight cultivator, causing his origin soul to collapse. Then it entered a second Heaven's Blight cultivator, causing his head to explode. Fellow cultivator Scattered Spirit, take care of yourself. I'm leaving. Wang Lin took another step as he withdrew his G-realm and disappeared without a trace. He had appeared and instantly killed 2 people. This terrified the people battling Daoist Scattered Spirit. Daoist Scattered Spirit laughed out loud. Brother Wang, take care. This old man believes we will meet again someday. When we meet again, you will be surprised. Wang Lin's voice came from the void as he left the Scatter Thunder clan domain. Surprised, Dao's scattered spirit was puzzled, but he didn't think too much as he began exacting revenge against the Scatter Thunder clan. Wang Lin quickly moved through the ancient star system, and his aura quickly withdrew until there was nothing left. He was like a mortal, and his 5 essences were intertwined so that his aura wouldn't reveal itself at all. A third-step cultivator should be able to find me easily, but since I have 5 essences covering my aura, I just need to find a place with a lot of people. If someone is really looking for me, I should be able to hide for a while. Right now I need to quickly refine the thunder. Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and he used spatial bending several times before appearing above a cultivation planet. This cultivation planet belonged to a small clan of the ancient star system. It was filled with mortals, and the capital was especially full of people. The streets were bustling, and there was no less than 10 million people in this city. When he appeared, his hair turned black and was tied up. He was dressed in white and had a fan in his hand like a scholar as he stepped into the strange mortal world. The street was filled with people. Men and women didn't avoid each other with suspicion like they did on planet Suzaku. They all dressed gracefully and were very lively. There were also stalls on the side, though only a few had open seats, and a lot of people were gathered. Wang Lin even heard someone reading when he passed by a restaurant. As for the Zhanyan sect Xiao Yuhuan, he had a strange personality and loved to move through the mortal world. There are countless rumors of his adventures, and that's how he met his cultivation partner, Xian. What we'll talk about today is how these two celestials met. The story will be glamorous and incomparable, so all of you listen well. Wang Lin smiled. The mortal cities of the ancient star system were interesting. It was incredible for mortals to talk about cultivators, even if most of it was made up. However, this showed that the mortals here were not unfamiliar with cultivators. The moment he entered this city, Wang Lin could tell that there were many cultivators here without spreading out his divine sense. There was even a male and a female cultivator in the restaurant listening intently to the story. There were nearly 100 cultivators in the eastern part of the capital. It's better this way as it makes the life force more chaotic here. Thanks to my essences helping me hide, I should be fine for a short period of time. It should be enough time for me to refine the eternal thunderbolt into my origin soul. I wonder how much my cultivation level will increase. Wang Lin calmly walked toward the restaurant. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. The mortal capital was very large and the population was dense. More people lived on the west side than the other 3 sides. Wang Lin also gradually learned that the people here didn't use silver and gold as money like on planet Suzaku. There was a thing called mortal crystals, that was like silver and gold for mortals depending on the size. Mortal crystals were useless to cultivators, but due to their rarity and beauty, they were used as money by mortals. With Wang Lin's cultivation level, it was very easy to obtain them. He was inside the capital when a portion of his origin soul left his body and went underground. No one noticed him as he found a vein of mortal crystals hidden underground. He circled around it and refined a portion of the vein. When that portion of his origin soul returned, there was a large amount of mortal crystals inside his storage space. As he walked through the city, he didn't use any spells and gradually arrived at the western part of the city. There were endless houses here and the street was in shambles. Even the houses looked old and worn, as if they hadn't been maintained for a long time. However, there was something very strange about them. Almost every house had a branch of leaves hanging below the roof. It seemed to be the unique custom of this place. The people walking here all had simple clothes and walked quickly. Wang Lin's arrival didn't attract the attention of any of the people. After looking around, he easily found some houses for sale. After finding a very dense location, Wang Lin bought a house. This house was in the middle of the street and there was a big tree outside. There was a noodle stand under the tree and it sold rice wine as well. Poor families couldn't afford to go to restaurants to drink, so they just ate a bowl of noodle and a cup of rice wine to fill their stomachs. Dusk arrived and the sky dimmed. It was time for dinner. The families here were very lively as they talked to each other and laughed loudly. There were children playing on the street and throwing small stones around. Wang Lin was sitting at the door of his house and smiled as he watched everything. When he bought the house, a lot of the neighbors had come to talk to him. Wang Lin was very kind to them, and most of them had learned that Wang Lin was a student here for the exam. He couldn't afford to live in an inn, so he had bought a house here to study for the exam next year. As the sky gradually darkened, the tired works returned home and everything quieted down. Moonlight gradually appeared. The man under the tree watched his 2 workers packing up the stall. He had a pipe in his hand as he took a step and looked at Wang Lin looking at the sky not far away. He picked up a jug of wine and walked toward Wang Lin. "Little child, the night is cold. Here is a jug of rice wine for you. Drink a bit of it late in the night while studying to warm your body. If you become rich later, you can pay me back." He gave the jug to Wang Lin before leaving with his 2 workers. Wang Lin held the jug and found that it was still half full. He smiled at the direction the old man towards and his heart felt calm. Compared to the cruel cultivation world, Wang Lin preferred this more. The moonlight gradually became stronger, and the cold wind gradually arrived. The wind reverberated across the street and the leaves hanging from the houses began to rattle. This wind was very cold, and it integrated with the rain, making the rain even colder. The small rocks on the street were blown away by the wind and dust was kicked up. This made it seem like everything was covered in fog. Every household had already lit up the oil lamps. Light leaked out of their windows, giving the area a certain charm. Wang Lin took the jug of rice wine and looked around before heading back inside. The house was very simple but very clean. The moment the door closed, the sound of the wind was cut off as if it was in another world. It was almost inaudible. After lighting up the lamp, the flickering light made the house seem a lot warmer than before, hiding the darkness from before in a corner. Even my mind has calmed down in this place. Wang Lin put the wine jug next to the oil lamp and sat down. He took a deep breath and slowly closed his eyes. The moment he closed his eyes, his origin soul started working rapidly, forming a powerful force. It was like a storm inside his origin soul, but none of it could be detected by anyone outside. Wang Lin was calmly sitting there, but the fire on the oil lamp seemed to move. Wang Lin's figure under the fire began to twist. There was a shocking scene inside Wang Lin's mind. 8 ancient thunder dragons roared like crazy in an attempt to charge out of his origin soul. However, his origin soul was like a cage, and no matter how much they tried, they couldn't even shake it. Even with Wang Lin's cultivation level, it wouldn't be easy to refine and absorb the 8 ancient thunder dragons. However, aside from the thunder essence, he also had a fire essence. As the 8 ancient thunder dragons struggled, blue fire appeared in his origin soul and surrounded the ancient thunder dragons. After the fire had locked the 8 ancient thunder dragons down, it began to refine them. The vermilion bird circled the 8 ancient thunder dragons and would sometimes spit out fire to increase its power while refining them. Wang Lin's origin soul was already made of half an ancient thunder dragon. Thunder filled his origin soul, and a 9th ancient thunder dragon made up of his origin soul appeared. It circled the 8 ancient thunder dragons, waiting for the chance to devour them. Time slowly passed. The 8 ancient thunder dragons let out miserable cries inside the blue fire. These cries were completely isolated within the origin soul, and none of it came out. Wang Lin's house was completely silent, just like everyone else's. As late night arrived, the lights from the houses extinguished one by one. Almost all the houses on the west side were extinguished, aside from a few. A faint sound came from outside the houses and gradually became louder until it broke the silence, but it wasn't intrusive. "The cold wave is coming, close the door and turn off the light." A voice slowly came and slowly went, and then the silence returned. However, the moment that person left, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes, and they shined brightly. His hand reached out and the jug of wine flew into this hand. He took a big drink. The spicy wine entered his abdomen and heat filled his body, leaving a hint of spiciness in his mouth. Then Wang Lin closed his eyes again. His origin energy surged and even more fire appeared in his origin soul. The power of fire entered his origin soul, and made the sea of fire even more monstrous. It refined the wine until only its essence remained. The essence was moved toward the sea of fire that was refining the 8 ancient thunder dragons. During this period of time, the sea of fire erupted and began to burn even more. As the fire raged, one of the 8 ancient thunder dragons began to scream miserably. The ancient thunder dragon trembled and suddenly collapsed. The moment it collapsed, the ninth ancient thunder dragon formed by Wang Lin's origin soul charged in like a bolt of thunder and inhaled. The collapsed ancient thunder dragon soul had lost all resistance after being thoroughly refined by Wang Lin. Then it became a part of him. Inside the house, Wang Lin's face turned rosy as if he had consumed something very nutritious. Although his eyes were closed, there was a faint thunder mark flashing through his eyelid. The room was very quiet, but the fire on the table flickered violently and Wang Lin's shadow distorted even more. A moment later, the fire went out and the room was as dark as outside. Only Wang Lin's thunder mark still faintly gave off a glow. Only 7 of the 8 stubborn ancient thunder dragons remained, and they struggled like crazy. The sea of fire went from being split into 8 parts to 7 parts, causing the fire each ancient thunder dragon was enduring to become even stronger. Under this intense burning, the 7 ancient thunder dragons screamed miserably. It didn't take long for another ancient thunder dragon to collapse and get absorbed by Wang Lin. Wang Lin's origin soul charged at the remaining 6 ancient thunder dragons. He charged through the fire and began a crazed battle to devour them. The night gradually passed and the sun covered the ground, awakening the sleeping city. However, the sunlight came a bit late as layers of dark clouds had blocked the sun, so everything was hazy. Waves of thunder came from the thunderclouds and fine rain began to fall. Wang Lin opened his eyes while sitting. I have devoured and absorbed 7 of the 8 ancient thunder dragons. Only 1 left. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. Black clouds covered the sky and tore up the sunlight as rain fell from the sky. The rustling rain fell on the roofs on the street, and on every pedestrian walking on the street. Inside the houses, residents could clearly hear the rain land on their roofs. The rain flowed down along the edges of the roofs, forming curtains. The branches of leaves hanging from the doors rustled with the rain as the rain flowed down and became one with the rain curtains. The earth seemed to have been dry for a very long time. As the raindrops fell, large amounts of dust came with them, but before the dust could be kicked up high, it was immediately knocked back down by rain falling, becoming part of the mud puddle. Pedestrians quickly moved through the rain wearing rain cloaks, with their heads lowered. Even though it was raining, it was daytime, so they still had to work. Some children crawled along the windows and reached for the rain while laughing. Their laughter traveled far in the rain. This rain was falling because of Wang Lin. Wang Lin pushed open the door of the house and felt the damp air blow into his face. It was very refreshing. He looked up at the rain that fell the sky and the roaring thunder from the clouds. At first the thunder sounded far away, but the sound quickly closed in until a big boom went off next to his ears. It scared some children and they no longer dared to be near the windows. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he picked up the wine jug and took a drink. He smiled as he looked at the familiar mortal life before him. The children especially remind him of the past. Once upon a time on planet Suzaku, he also crawled on the window and extended his hand out to let the rain fall into his hand while he screamed cheerfully. It has been almost 2,000 years. Cultivators don't know time, and not many can remember their age. I can't remember how old I am. Wang Lin took another sip of the wine and felt melancholy. The cold air was very strong as it fell on Wang Lin's body. He silently pondered for a moment, and when he was about to close the door, his expression changed and he slowly looked up at the sky. The sky was still covered in dark clouds and the rain blocked the view. Naturally, none of this affected Wang Lin, and he saw 2 swords flying in the clear sky above the dark clouds. There was a man and a woman on the flying swords. The man wore blue and was very handsome. His cultivation level wasn't low, around Nirvana Scryer. The woman was graceful and wore phoenix-colored clothes. She was very beautiful and gave off the aura of a noble. Below them were the dark clouds. From their location looking down, they could clearly see the lightning moving within the clouds and hear the rumbling thunder. Xian, the clan has called for an urgent meeting. Your cultivation level isn't high enough, so don't be brave. The woman looked at the man gently and whispered, I'll listen to you. I wonder what happened for the elders to send out this urgent call. This is very rare. The man had a serious expression. He also had the same doubts in his heart and was about to speak when he suddenly looked into the distance. His arm blocked the woman and they stopped in the air. A ray of black light flew across the black clouds. The black wind was originally going in the same direction as the two of them, but once it detected them, it changed its direction toward them. It only took a moment for the black wind to close in, and a young man in black appeared. He had an indifferent gaze and silently looked at the woman named Xian. The pupils of the man blocking the woman shrank and he clasped his hands. "Greetings, Brother Zhou." The woman revealed a gentle smile and softly said, "Little sister greets big brother Zhou." The young man named Zhou had a complicated expression as he withdrew his gaze and looked at the man in blue. He coldly said, "The Scatter Thunder clan has been destroyed. Their head elder has been defeated and is missing. This has all been confirmed by the Sovereign Council. They sent the ancient star system order to tell all the clans. This urgent call is to get the announcement from the Sovereign Council." The Sovereign Council's Grandmaster Yun Luo used the Great Divination spell to find the appearance and origin soul imprint of the person who destroyed the Scatter Thunder clan. The ancient star system kill order has been sent out. This matter is so great, I fear even the likes of us have to go search. Even this cultivation planet must be carefully searched. Take care of yourselves. What? The expression of the man named Yu changed greatly and disbelief filled his eyes. The woman beside him was also shocked. The Scatter Thunder clan's head elder was rumored to be at Fifth Heaven's Blight and couldn't be defeated by anyone but third-step cultivators. Unless the perpetrator is a third-step cultivator. Also, the Scatter Thunder clan had hundreds of thousands of people with many powerful cultivators. How could they be wiped out? The Scatter Thunder clan also has the Eternal Thunderbolt that has existed since ancient times. This matter. The young man in black was going to leave but turned around and coldly said, "This is unconfirmed, but the Sovereign Council said that the Eternal Thunderbolt was devoured by that person. At the moment the entire ancient star system is searching. The Sovereign Council sent out an elder looking for this person." Under the clouds where the rain fell, Wang Lin slowly withdrew his gaze. His eyes were calm as he sat down and looked to the side. There were flashes in his eyes and he murmured, "I have been found out so quickly. The Sovereign Council. I have to refine that last ancient thunder dragon as soon as possible, and then fuse with the Eternal Thunderbolt." Wang Lin silently pondered as he closed his eyes. The monstrous flame in his origin soul was refining the last ancient thunder dragon. As time slowly passed, the rain outside became heavier and heavier. The dark clouds covered the city, causing the outside to be very dark. Even when it was noon, no sunlight penetrated the clouds. After refining for half a day, the ancient thunder dragon wasn't able to resist Wang Lin's fire anymore. It let out a miserable scream before it collapsed and was absorbed by Wang Lin's origin soul. At this moment, all 8 ancient thunder dragons had been devoured by Wang Lin and had become part of him. At this instant his origin soul grew like crazy. The fire dissipated and was replaced by endless thunder. The thunder essence began to grow like crazy at an earth-shattering rate. Wang Lin's origin soul slowly changed from the shape of an ancient thunder dragon to a bolt of thunder. A bolt of thunder that connected the heavens and earth. Wang Lin's head was the heavens and his feet were the earth. This bolt of thunder was now the same as the one the Scatter Thunder clan had, eternal. The moment this bolt of thunder formed completely, the clouds outside rumbled and even more rain fell. The thunder seemed to have gone crazy and rumbled violently. The entire cultivation planet could hear the shocking thunder coming out from the clouds. In the Imperial City, there were several old men in a towering pavilion. Almost all of them were at the Nirvana Cleanser stage, and one of them was at the Nirvana Shatterer stage. As they all stood inside the pavilion, they looked at the clouds churning and listened to the rumbling thunder. They all revealed strange gazes. This rain came a bit too suddenly. The thunder also seems a bit too violent, but even our combined divine senses didn't find anything. One of the old men said, "Perhaps we are just too worried. Alas, even a large clan like the Scatter Thunder clan has been destroyed and their head elder killed. Looking at the thunder before me, I can't help but feel something is wrong. But perhaps I'm just thinking too much." The Nirvana Shatterer old man shook his head and stopped talking. It doesn't matter who that person is. Since the ancient star system kill order has been given, as long as his whereabouts are found, he will without a doubt die. There was a large mountain range in the eastern part of the planet. This was where the Zhenyin clan was located. Different from the Scatter Thunder clan, the Xianxia clan was only a small sect and only occupied a single cultivation planet, much like the sects in the inner realm. At this moment, inside the Xianxia clan, there was a person with white hair standing on top of the mountain. He looked very old and he stared into the distance. After a long time, he whispered, "Why do I feel like a calamity is about to strike?" Wang Lin knew that time was of the essence. After devouring the 8 ancient thunder dragons, he released the eternal thunderbolt. The moment it was released, it was about to break free from Wang Lin's body. However, just as it was about to move, Wang Lin's origin soul, which had become a bolt of thunder, rushed at the eternal thunderbolt and began devouring like crazy. The eternal thunderbolt struggled like crazy. There was a will inside the eternal thunderbolt, much like the soul of a cultivator, and it began a struggle to the death with Wang Lin. "Fuse with me and become part of my thunder essence. Allow my thunder essence to reach completion, and along with the accompanying forms of thunder, increase my cultivation level." Wang Lin's divine sense swept forth like a storm and tore up all the resistance the eternal thunderbolt put up. Dao spell. Fuse. Wang Lin's right eye lit up and the 2 different thunder essences in his eyes began to rotate. His eyes gave off a demonic feel. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. The wind rumbled, thunder roared, and rain fell violently on the earth. A thick veil of rain formed in the city and ripples spread across the city. This rain was very fast and seemed to have no end as it constantly fell. Fortunately, the streets had shallow waterways that led most of the rain out of the city like rivers flowing into the ocean. An entire day of time was lost in this rain. When night arrived, it was not as lively as the night before. People stayed inside their homes and didn't go out. It was impossible to see the clouds at night, but the lightning that occasionally lit up the sky revealed the world to everyone. There was cold wind mixed in with the rain. The cold wind howled, causing the rain to fall at an angle. The branches of wet leaves hanging before every door began to shake violently. Some were not tied well enough and the ropes snapped. They began flying in the wind like lonely boats in the violent ocean. Some were thrown into the sky, where they circled in the air and disappeared into the darkness. Some fell to the ground and landed in the muddy water. They tried to fly again with the wind, but then a muddy boot crushed them, pushing them back into the mud. They would never break free again. Thunder began to roar at this moment, and the lightning lit up the city. During this brief moment, one could see an old man wearing a Taoist robe standing in the middle of the street with his hands behind his back and his eyes glowing like torches. He was still standing on a leaf with his right foot. Half of the leaf was still struggling in the muddy water as the wind blew. There was a strange mark between his eyebrows. Behind him were 7 middle-aged cultivators, their gazes cold. With a wave of his hand, the 7 people immediately surrounded the old man, and their hands formed seals. A faint light came from each of them and formed lightning-like threads connected to the old man's body. This formed an image that looked the same as the tattoo between the old man's eyebrows. The old man became the center and 7 rays of light shot out of his body. The old man closed his eyes and suddenly reopened them a moment later. The moment he opened his eyes, the light from his clan mark began to spread out like a fan. At the same time, the light from the 7 people around him glowed brightly and gathered inside the old man's body, causing the light from his clan mark to shine even brighter. As the light from his clan mark swept by the houses, the old man's gaze suddenly changed. These old and shabby houses suddenly looked like they were brand new, and then, in another instant, they were in ruins. Not only was the time of the houses reversing, even the mortals in the houses became younger. Soon, they dissipated one by one as if they had never appeared in his world. Some people that had lived here and died long ago seemed to have resurrected. Their lives played out before the old man. Wang Lin was still sitting inside the house. The devouring of the eternal thunderbolt inside his origin soul had reached the critical moment. The eternal thunderbolt contained a will that was struggling frantically and was letting out thunderous roars, much like the thunder outside. However, no matter how it tried to break free, it couldn't break out of Wang Lin's body. After Wang Lin's origin soul had devoured the 8 ancient thunder dragons, it had turned into a bolt of thunder. It was like 2 bolts of eternal thunder were battling each other at the beginning of time. Only one could remain, only one could become the true king of thunder. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes, and they started shining. His expression was calm as he waved his hand, and everything inside the house began to distort like a mirror. It continued to distort until cracking sounds appeared, and finally everything shattered. After doing this, Wang Lin closed his eyes and ignored the outside world. He once again went into cultivation, and began the final step of devouring the eternal thunderbolt. In the rain, the old man in the Taoist robe slowly looked across the houses. When his gaze passed Wang Lin's house, he didn't even bat an eye. He just saw a scholar disappear within the house and get replaced by a much livelier family. After a long time, the old man had scanned the entire western side of the city. After finding nothing, the old man calmly formed a seal, pointed to between his eyebrows, and let out a roar. The light from his clan mark became even brighter, and when the old man looked again, the city had disappeared. Time continued to reverse, and an ancient battlefield appeared before the old man. Two mortal armies fought, dyeing the earth dark red. The old man suddenly closed his eyes. The light from his clan mark dimmed until it returned to normal. The 7 cultivators around him also withdrew their marks. Now their faces were slightly pale. There is no cultivator hiding here. Let's change to a different location. The old man waved his sleeves and jumped into the air through the dark clouds. As he flew into the distance, the 7 cultivators followed. Similar scenes not only happened in various cities, but also on many planets across the ancient star system. Once the ancient star system order was given, every clan had to obey, and they had begun a detailed search of every single cultivation planet and abandoned planet. The people of the ancient star system formed a giant net. Wang Lin's expression remained neutral and didn't change at all when they left. His eyes didn't even open. The roar of the eternal thunderbolt was getting weaker, and so was its struggle. With clouds still filling the sky, even now the rain didn't seem to lessen. Not even the night watchman appeared, and the only sound was the sound of rain falling. The two thunders inside Wang Lin's origin soul finally fused together. The eternal thunderbolt let out an unwilling roar before it was completely devoured by Wang Lin's origin soul. The moment the eternal thunderbolt was devoured, the will inside was refined by Wang Lin and became one with his origin soul. He felt his origin soul tremble, and his thunder essence was growing at an unimaginable speed. This growth was impossible to describe. Just the thunder essence had allowed Wang Lin's cultivation to break through the mid-stage of Nirvana Shatterer and reach toward the late stage. As his thunder essence rumbled, Wang Lin's cultivation would instantly reach the late stage of Nirvana Shatterer if he used his thunder. The power of essence, the fundamentals of all domains. Obtaining the essence meant that he had seen through all laws of thunder. There was no longer a domain cap on his cultivation, and this was unheard of. After devouring the will of the eternal thunderbolt, Wang Lin's mind rumbled. Memories flashed through his mind. These were the memories from the will. The memories of the eternal thunderbolt. The memories were broken due to the passage of time, so only 3 images appeared. The first image was of a collapse of a star system. The collapse spread across countless star domains and star fields, across an area far larger than both the inner and outer realms. This collapse was like the apocalypse. Within the collapse, countless creatures perished. Wang Lin saw cultivators in strange clothes, strange monsters, mosquito beasts the size of a planet, and he even saw a Ji Qiong with countless heads. However, just as he was about to continue to look, a bolt of thunder seemed to frantically come from the void as if it was escaping something, and it flashed through the void. This was the first image. It was very short, but the shock it brought Wang Lin was huge. That flash was the eternal thunderbolt. However, it was countless times more powerful than when Wang Lin devoured it. In the second image, the thunderbolt swam in a person's hand. He was middle-aged and he had an indifferent gaze. There was a flower tattoo between his eyebrows. The flower had 7 petals representing the 7 colors. Unfortunately, this ancient void god thunderbolt will never return to what it was like in the past. Forget it. I'll just send you out and see what your luck is. The middle-aged man shook his head and waved his hand. The thunderbolt rumbled as it went down endlessly and disappeared. The third image's setting was on top of the Scatter Thunder Clan's temple. There was a bolt of thunder that connected the heavens and earth. It was as if it had existed since the beginning of time and would remain eternal. There were 8 cultivators floating around this bolt of thunder. One of the 8 was an old man, and he had a thunder mark between his eyebrows. The other 7 all wore strange clothes that was made from an unknown substance. It looked like each of them was wearing a river. The person stood at the head. He was clearly the leader. Even the person of the Scatter Thunder clan looked at this person with respect and a hint of fear. There was a golden line around this person's body. Wang Lin felt that the golden line was extremely familiar. I didn't think he would be here. Unfortunate, unfortunate. The leader shook his head and turned around. The moment he turned around, a rumble echoed through Wang Lin's mind, his pupils shrank, and he was startled for a moment. He is. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. Chapter 1367 Master Simo. The 6 Types of Thunder. Wang Lin had sent out his will, and his origin soul began to shine brightly. If not for the fact that this body had contained the light, it would have lit up the entire planet as if it was day. Under this violent light, a rift appeared in Wang Lin's origin soul, but it didn't bring him any harm. The inside of the rift was completely dark, as if it led to another world. Under Wang Lin's will, the darkness in the rift began to move like fog, and there were faint rumblings coming from within. In just a moment, 6 types of thunder rumbled and flew out. They were the result of the Scatter Thunder clan collecting them for tens of thousands of years. They immediately rushed out and rotated rapidly around Wang Lin's origin soul. A feeling of swelling came from Wang Lin's body. It was fortunate that he had the body of an ancient god, because if he was an ordinary cultivator, he would have exploded immediately. Even so, there were strands of thunder coming out from Wang Lin's pores. This caused his clothes to move without any wind, and thunder moved across the entire room. Due to this, the thunder outside became even more crazy and rumbled loudly. This drastic change caused Wang Lin to open his eyes. My judgment was wrong. Wang Lin's expression became gloomy and his body disappeared from the house. He moved across the rumbling sky and instantly appeared in an endless mountain range in the southern part of the planet. The endless mountains were linked together, making it impossible to see where they ended. The mountains were covered in many giant, ancient forests that were filled with ferocious beasts. Wang Lin appeared in a valley in the depths of the mountain range. The moment he appeared, he waved his hand and light distorted around him so that he could blend into the surroundings. Under the light, Wang Lin sat down, formed seals with his hands, and began to refine like crazy. He previously thought that he could contain the 6 types of thunder within his origin soul, but he unexpectedly found that his origin soul couldn't devour them in a short period of time. Not only that, but thunder was coming out of his body. The thunder was weak, but it was enough to attract the attention of some of the cultivators on the planet. When Wang Lin left the house, the expressions of the cultivators in the pavilion in the imperial city all changed. They had faintly noticed a shocking thunder force, but when their divine senses rushed over, they found nothing. However, all of these cultivators were very smart and immediately realized the reason. It doesn't matter if this is the person who slaughtered the Scatter Thunder clan. This person must have a hidden agenda for hiding here. The Nirvana Shatterer old man had a gloomy expression. His eyes lit up and he charged off into the distance. The rest followed him. Not only him, the old man in the Taoist robe who had his divine sense split was about to leave when he suddenly turned around. His eyes revealed a strange light as he turned without saying a word, and his divine sense began a careful search. Similarly, in the western part of the planet there was a group of cultivators in white. They had searched the entire western side of the planet and found nothing. Just as they were about to leave, the expression of the middle-aged man who was the leader changed, and he changed directions without hesitation. In a foggy star domain in the ancient star system lived one of the large ancient clans, the Misty clan. Deep within the foggy star domain, there was a blue planet. Within this blue planet was a lake as calm as a mirror. It was very beautiful. There was an island at the center of the lake with 2 or 3 elegant pavilions built on it. They were surrounded by a large amount of flowers that gave off pleasant fragrance. The wind would create ripples in the lake and blow the fragrance of the flowers into the distance. There was a woman in black sitting outside the pavilion. She had green silk draped over her head, and the wind caused her hair to flutter. Her face was covered by green silk, so it was impossible to see it. Her hands were like jade and there was a ball of water that gave off water vapor moving above the lake. The ball of water seemed to be filled with chaos and filled with light. Its insides twisted and distorted until the figure of a man in white that gave off the aura of loneliness appeared. As the ball of water twisted, the figure became even more clear. Looking at it closely, it was Wang Lin. Just at this moment, the eyes of the woman in black lit up behind the green silk. The ball of water exploded into a curtain of water. The curtain of water revealed a star domain. And in that star domain there was only one cultivation planet. The woman in black softly said, "Tell the elders of the Sovereign Council that Yun Luo has found the person who destroyed the Scatter Thunder clan. He is here." The moment she finished speaking, 3 figures vaguely appeared and clasped their hands at the woman before disappearing. It wasn't long before all the ancient star system cultivators around the planet Wang Lin was on obtained the Sovereign Council's order and began to gather. At the same time there was an abyss within a spatial rift. This place was dark all year and was always filled with cold energy. Any living being sucked in would instantly perish. However, deep within the darkness and cold energy of the rift sat a middle-aged man. He wore a gloomy expression as he sat there and cultivated. Every time he inhaled, the endless cold energy would gather. Crackling sounds echoed as ice formed and instantly collapsed into energy that was absorbed by this man. There was a ball of white light floating before him. The white light seemed to contain souls, but it was impossible to see what was inside clearly. It slowly rotated, and faint white lines flew out of it and were inhaled by the middle-aged man. After a long time, the middle-aged man slowly opened his eyes and looked at the white light before him. He muttered, "A rank 6 Tao spirit is indeed amazing. I've only absorbed 60%, but I already faintly feel signs of breaking past the early stage of Nirvana Void. Although I'm still far from a breakthrough, but it's a feeling that hasn't appeared in a long time. The 4 void realms, Nirvana, Spirit, Arcane, Turbulent." The middle-aged man's expression suddenly changed and he looked up. A ray of red light pierced through the void and rushed into the rift. It suddenly appeared before the middle-aged man. The red light lit up everything, and there was a blood-colored piece of paper at the center. "Master Simo, orders from the Sovereign Council within. Capture the person who destroyed the Scatter Thunder clan to earn a rank 6 Tao spirit as a reward. Kill him and you will only obtain a rank 9 Tao spirit." A gloomy voice echoed from the blood paper. This middle-aged man was one of the third-step cultivators hunting Tuasen. When Wang Lin entered the ancient star system, "Master Simo." Master Simo's eyes lit up and his right hand reached out at the blood paper. He crushed the paper and then a red gas entered his arm. "This matter is simple, my avatar is enough." After he finished speaking, he closed his eyes and an illusion walked out of his body. This avatar looked exactly like him, but its cultivation wasn't at the 3rd step, but 5th heaven's blight. His avatar took a step forward and disappeared from the spatial rift. As for Wang Lin, he was hiding within the mountain range, ignoring all the cultivators that were searching for him on the planet. Ignoring the rays of light flying above his head, he closed his eyes and began refining the 6 types of thunder like crazy. The first one he refined was the spiritual thunder. He already had a lot, and it didn't take long for him to absorb all the spiritual thunder the Scatter Thunder clan had gathered. As a result, his spiritual thunder was every powerful. It slowly rotated around Wang Lin's origin soul. Every time it made a rotation, it would make his origin soul grow, and his cultivation level would increase a bit. His thunder cultivation was growing toward the peak of Nirvana Shatter. It was difficult to reach Nirvana Shatter in 10,000 years, much less breaking through further. Wang Lin's cultivation time simply couldn't compare to that of those old monsters. He relied on the Tao fruit to reach the Nirvana Shatter stage, and then on the thunder. Although this was the case, it couldn't increase his cultivation level too much, unless all 9 types of thunder were completed. However, Wang Lin didn't know if he could enter the 3rd after the 9 types thunder were complete. He had a feeling it wouldn't be this simple. After all, he had chosen not to cultivate Joss flames. No matter what happens, I can't cultivate Joss flames. Wang Lin's decision was firm. After absorbing the spiritual thunder, his origin soul opened its mouth and began to devour the other 5 types of thunder. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, one day went by. During this day, Even more ancient star system cultivators had gathered here. There was no less than 100,000 cultivators. There were many powerful cultivators here, and very few weak people were sent out. The entire cultivation planet had been searched like crazy by these cultivators. The search had already flipped the entire planet inside and out. Even the mountain range had been searched inch by these cultivators, but in the end, no matter how much they searched, they found nothing. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. Several cultivators had walked by Wang Lin and swept the area countless times with their divine senses, but none of them noticed him. As Wang Lin sat there, he had completely merged with his surroundings. Whenever someone's gaze or divine sense passed by, their senses would be distorted, so they wouldn't detect Wang Lin. His aura had long fused with the mountain range, so it was impossible to tell them apart. The heavenly thunder had already been successfully refined, and had become one of his accompanying thunders. The earth thunder had also been successfully devoured by Wang Lin a few hours ago. Wang Lin knew that time was of the essence. He didn't hesitate to charge toward the fourth type of thunder, the origin thunder. This origin thunder was formed by the origin energy of the world. After being refined by Wang Lin for 3 hours, it trembled and could no longer resist. Right now there were 4 types of accompanying thunder around Wang Lin's thunder origin soul. As the 4 types of accompanying thunder rotated, his origin soul became even more powerful, and his thunder cultivation was getting closer to peak nirvana shatter. Magnetic thunder. I command you as the thunder of heaven to become my accompanying thunder. Wang Lin's divine sense roared. The 5th type of accompanying thunder, magnetic thunder, was very strange. It contained a powerful magnetic force and gave off a powerful repulsive force. To completely absorb it, he would have to refine it for several days and slowly make the repulsive force dissipate until it became his own. However, Wang Lin didn't have much time to waste. Seeing the magnetic thunder resisting violently, he let out a cold snort and the 4 types of accompanying thunder around his origin soul descended. They formed a powerful force and collided with the magnetic force. There was a violent roar and the magnetic thunder resisted for a moment before it collapsed. The moment it collapsed, Wang Lin's origin soul devoured the magnetic thunder. However, due to the fact that it was not absorbed but devoured after collapsing, it was a lot weaker than the other types of accompanying thunder. However, Wang Lin couldn't care too much about it. After absorbing the 5 types of accompanying thunder, they rotated rapidly around his origin soul. At that instant, his cultivation broke through from the late stage of nirvana shatterer to the peak of nirvana shatter. When his thunder cultivation reached the peak of nirvana shatterer, his origin soul expanded rapidly before pounding on the 6th type of accompanying thunder, Dao Thunder. The Scatter Thunder clan had found Dao Thunder in the inner realm. Only inner realm cultivators cultivated Dao and could form Dao intent. This was how Dao Thunder was formed. If this thunder resisted, Wang Lin wouldn't hesitate to crush it. His origin soul arrived with the momentum of a large army, but the Dao Thunder unexpectedly didn't resist at all. Complicated Dao intent came from the countless souls within the thunder. Wang Lin felt that these souls were extremely familiar. They were all inner realm cultivators. These souls also felt Wang Lin's Dao intent and charged at his origin soul. Without the need for Wang Lin to devour it, the Dao Thunder integrated with its own. A perfect integration. All 6 types of accompanying thunder were devoured and were rotating rapidly around Wang Lin's thunder essence. His thunder cultivation had reached the peak of nirvana shatter. His eyes suddenly opened, and in the thunder mark in his right eye, 6 types of accompanying thunder rotated. Endless rumbles came from the thunder in the sky. The 100,000 cultivators on the planet searching for Wang Lin immediately noticed the difference in the thunder. Their divine senses fused together and swept the entire planet, but they still found nothing. If it wasn't for the Xianxia sect stopping them, these cultivators were going to ignore all life on the planet and refine the entire planet to force Wang Lin out. Rays of light filled the sky. There were cultivators everywhere. Wang Lin revealed a sneer. The 6 types of accompanying thunder were complete, but this wasn't the end. He still needed 3 more types of thunder to complete his thunder essence. However, he had no clue where to search for the remaining 3. When it comes to accompanying thunder, there is need to follow the rules and search for them. If I say they are accompanying thunder, then that's what they will be. Wang Lin was never one to follow the rules. Since he had no idea what the 3 types of accompanying thunder should be, he was just going to make his own. I want to see if I can reach the 3rd step with the help of my thunder essence reaching completion. Wang Lin's eyes glowed red and his G realm shot out. G realm is divine retribution and is also thunder. I don't care what the divine retribution was before. Now you are the G thunder and my 7th type of accompanying thunder. I Wang Lin am the thunder of heaven. My words are orders you follow for life. G thunder return. Under Wang Lin's will, the G thunder rumbled and charged at his right eye. It penetrated this right eye and imprinted itself in his pupil. It became the 7th type of accompanying thunder. At this moment, inside Wang Lin's right eye, there were 7 types of thunder rotating around his thunder essence. An extremely powerful aura erupted from his body. Wang Lin had already merged with the mountain range. The eruption of thunder spread out across the mountain range and across the entire continent. The thunderous rumble was heaven-shaking, and endless thunder was set off across the continent. This thunder didn't hurt mortals, but it was extremely bright. The cultivators searching for Wang Lin were all shocked, and then became excited as they began searching once more. There were several cultivators at the Heaven's Blight stage working together, causing their divine senses to increase greatly. Thunder Toad, you're a fierce beast and contain your own bloodline. You have followed me for many years, and although your cultivation level isn't high, you have cultivated my defying nature. Today, as the Lord of Thunder, I grant you the title of the 8th type of accompanying thunder, the Bloodline Thunder. I don't care what the 8th type of thunder was in the past. From today onward, you will become the eternal 8th type of accompanying thunder. Wang Lin's divine sense was powerful, and when it spread out, the thunder toad that had followed him for countless years appeared. The thunder toad let out a roar and then turned into a bolt of thunder that charged at Wang Lin's right eye. In an instant, the thunder toad disappeared and a bolt of bloodline thunder appeared in Wang Lin's rig. 8 types of accompanying thunder rotated around his thunder essence. Now the world changed colors and the clouds scattered. Not only the earth, but even the sky was covered in thunder. Thunderous rumbles spread out and shocked the minds of all the cultivators here. Right now the sky was thunder and the earth was also thunder. The space in between was surrounded by thunder. There was attraction between the thunder from the sky and the thunder on the earth. Bolts of thunder connecting the sky and earth appeared. The 100,000 cultivators searching for Wang Lin were no longer excited, but terrified. They had never seen something like this before. Watching the thunder rumble, their hearts began to tremble. The last type of thunder. I can't find this last type of accompanying thunder in this world, but throughout my life, I have always defied the heavens. I refuse to bend to fate, and I'll become the Lord of the world. I'll destroy this heavens and shatter this earth. I've fought against the heavens for the soul of my wife and stole from time. I've lived my life as a heaven-defying cultivator. Although it has been bloody, I have no regrets. I, Wang Lin, have traveled the world for 2,000 years, but my heart remains calm. I seek a heaven-defying heart and I cultivate a heaven-defying will. Since I can't find the last form of accompanying thunder, then I'll use my entire life of cultivation to form the defying thunder. This defying thunder has never been born before, but today with my command, this world will give birth to the defying thunder that will replace the 9th type of accompanying thunder of the past and become the only 9th type of thunder, defying thunder. Wang Lin's will were filled with madness and power. He suddenly stood up and looked at the sky. His body was as straight as a pine tree, filled with heaven-defying will. His eyes were like thunder, and his aura charged into the sky. His heart contained defiance and struggled directly against fate. What happened at the 7 million worlds removed my last bit of hesitation. If the heavens are insensitive, then us cultivators should resist. If it doesn't care, why should it control all lives and mess with my life? Wang Lin's voice roared, and the endless thunder seemed to resonate. The thunder formed a giant thunder lake and spread in all directions. A bolt of thunder that had never appeared since the beginning of time was born from Wang Lin's words. It was invisible and couldn't be seen by most people. Only those filled with the defying will could detect it. When this thunder suddenly appeared, it charged toward Wang Lin's right eye. It contained the struggle against fate and heaven. It integrated in an instant. In Wang Lin's right eye, the 9 types of accompany thunder around his thunder essence were complete. As they rotated, they formed a thunder tattoo in Wang Lin's right eye. The moment the thunder tattoo took shape, an indescribable thunder force erupted from Wang Lin's body like an endless volcano eruption. As the thunderous rumble echoed, a giant illusionary gate suddenly appeared before the gobsmacked cultivators on the planet. This gate was boundless and seemed to be part of heaven itself. It was like the door of the heavens, and if one could open it, they could leave this world. Third step, Great Void Gate. Some of the cultivators immediately recognized it, and their expressions changed. Disbelief filled their faces. The moment the door appeared, Wang Lin clearly felt the indescribable power coming from it. It was as if everything he had was nothing but dust compared to it. Even if I can't break it, I have to try. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. At this moment, Wang Lin no longer hit himself but raised his hand and pulled down. The restriction hiding him was ripped open, and he revealed himself to the world. The thunder essence shined brightly in his right eye in the shape of the thunder tattoo. And Wang Lin let out a roar. My thunder essence, break open this gate. Thunder tattoo appear. The moment he spoke, bright light appeared in his eye and charged out from his body. A giant thunder tattoo 10,000 feet tall appeared. The thunder tattoo rumbled loudly and triggered the thunder of the world. It was the Lord of Thunder. It was the thunder tattoo Wang Lin had created by condensing his thunder cultivation. Break open this gate for me. Wang Lin roared as he raised his hand as if he was supporting the thunder tattoo. Then he charged at the giant gate. Wang Lin had already become a bolt of thunder. His body, his origin soul, his mind, his everything had turned into a bolt of thunder. A bolt of heaven-defying thunder. This thunder rumbled as it rushed toward the Great Void Gate. It moved faster and faster as it got closer. The tens of thousands of cultivators were all motionless as they stared at this scene. They were frozen from fear and their minds were trembling. After opening this door, Wang Lin could reach the third step. Wang Lin instantly closed in on the gate, and the thunder tattoo mercilessly slammed into the gate. A heaven-shaking rumble echoed across the world. Even space itself trembled and spread far away. Wang Lin's thunder suddenly landed on the gate and began an indescribable collapse. This force could rip the world apart. It contained Wang Lin's thunder essence and all the accompanying thunder. As the rumble echoed, the thunder suddenly collapsed. Wang Lin's body appeared and he coughed out a large amount of blood. His body was knocked back by the repelling force and he fell to the ground. The Great Void Gate didn't move at all. Wang Lin suddenly got up and charged out once more with a roar. His hands formed seals and the thunder tattoo appeared once more. The thunder in his body surged into the thunder tattoo, causing it to grow into tens of thousands of feet tall. He let out a roar as he charged at the Great Void Gate. Open for me. Open. Wang Lin's voice spread across the cultivation planet and shook the hearts of the 100,000 cultivators here. They were stunned as Wang Lin charged at the Great Void Gate once more. They were terrified. If it was them, they wouldn't have the courage to go all out like this. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the world and a shockwave spread out. Wang Lin's thunder collapsed once more and popping sounds echoed from his body. He coughed out blood, his body was a bloody mess, and he fell back to the ground once more. The Great Void Gate didn't change at all. Not a hint of it opening appeared, and it was about to disappear from the world. I won't give up like this. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot and filled with madness. As the gate was about to disappear, he rushed out once more. His hands formed a seal and the thunder from the sky and earth began to surge toward him. I'm the Lord of Thunder. All thunder in this starry sky, gather for me. As Wang Lin's words echoed, all the thunder on the planet gathered toward him. Thunder even came from outside the planet from 50 kilometers, 500 kilometers, 5,000 kilometers, 50,000 kilometers, 500,000 kilometers, 5 million kilometers away. Endless thunder appeared within 5 million kilometers of where Wang Lin was in charge toward him. At this instant, Wang Lin had become a huge vortex and attracted all the thunder to come to him. The thunder surged into his body and formed a giant thunder tattoo hundreds of thousands of feet tall. The thunder tattoo rumbled. It contained Wang Lin's unwillingness. After it appeared, It charged at the gate for the third time as Wang Lin roared. The thunder was heaven-shaking when it collided with the great void gate that was about to dissipate. At this moment, Wang Lin's body trembled violently, and the thunder tattoo collapsed. An indescribable shock spread out like crazy. Wang Lin coughed out blood and blood exploded from his body. He was knocked far away by the shock wave. However, the motionless gate also rumbled and unexpectedly opened just a small crack after being hit by the bolt of thunder that contained Wang Lin's heaven-defying will. Although this gap was very small, it did open. Although it was far from opening completely, this gave Wang Lin hope. The boundless gate slowly dissipated. Wang Lin's body was pushed by the impact and he landed loudly on the ground. After a brief moment of silence, it was unknown who shouted first, but everyone's gazes gathered on the spot where Wang Lin had fallen. Kill! This person didn't succeed in breaking into the third step and is seriously injured. Killing him will be great merit. He is the person who destroyed the Scatter Thunder clan. Kill him and your name will spread across the ancient star system. This person is powerful, so we can't give him the chance to recover. We must kill him immediately. As murderous roars echoed, the 100 cultivators began to move. They used spells and treasures as they charged at Wang Lin. The sky was covered by the light of treasures and spells. They formed a destructive aura that charged at Wang Lin. There was a flash of coldness in his eyes. Although he was injured, with his cunning he was already prepared. When the attacks arrived, Wang Lin pressed down on the ground and lifted it with a roar. The entire mountain range rumbled and thunder filled the area. Wang Lin rushed into the air, and the mountain rose up into the air with him. Countless fierce beasts escaped in panic and large amounts of trees collapsed, setting off a monstrous dust cloud. This scene was so shocking that it caused terror to appear in the eyes of the surrounding cultivators once more. This scene was enough to shock anyone. The mountain range was covered in thunder and was lifted into the air. Wang Lin let out a roar as he waved his hand, and the mountain range split into countless thunder mountains that scattered in all directions. Treasures and spells collided with the countless thunder mountains, creating a thunderous rumble. Large amounts of cultivators weren't able to dodge fast enough and were hit by the thunder mountains. They coughed out blood and their bodies collapsed. Some people's origin souls completely disintegrated as well. However, if this was all, it wouldn't show Wang Lin's methods. Although Wang Lin was injured, he had been injured by the Great Void Gate, and his thunder cultivation had to reach the peak of Nirvana Shatterer to be able to summon the Great Void Gate. Ordinary cultivators were not worth taking seriously in his eyes. Thunder mountains, contain my thunder and turn into sealing thunder to seal all of them. Although this is not enough to seal you all for life, it's enough for me to leave. Wang Lin smiled as he waved his hand, and endless thunder fused into the countless thunder mountains. As the rumbles echoed, the countless mountains descended from above on top of the cultivators. They all connected together and fell on these cultivators. The 100 cultivators were terrified and were about to scatter. However, thunder surrounded them, distorting the origin energy of the world and preventing them from escaping. The countless mountains descended from the sky and landed on the ground, completely sealing the 100 cultivators below it. These people were at various cultivation levels, and Wang Lin obviously couldn't fight them, so he had borrowed the thunder mountains to seal them. Right now, thunderous rumbles echoed as the cultivators attempted to break the thunder mountains that were sealing them. The thunder mountains rumbled violently and large amounts of rocks fell off. It seemed like they could collapse at any moment and allow the 100 cultivators sealed under them to break free. Wang Lin sneered as thunder flashed in his right eye, and the thunder tattoo appeared once more. The moment it appeared, heavenly thunder appeared and Wang Lin pressed his hand down. The thunder tattoo split into countless parts and imprinted on the countless thunder mountains. It was like a rune was placed for the real seal to start working. Using countless thunder mountains to seal 100 cultivators would make Wang Lin famous. When the thunder tattoo landed, the mountains no longer trembled. They became even more stable. Some angry roars could still vaguely come out from below the mountains, but they couldn't break out of the seal in a short period of time. Wang Lin's face was pale. He was injured by the Great Void Gate and then had to seal 100 cultivators, so he was exhausted. This is merely the start of the ancient star system's hunt. I can't stay here. Wang Lin's body flickered and he took a step forward. Ripples echoed as he disappeared using spatial bending. Even the completion of my thunder essence can't open that barrier to the third step, can't open the Great Void Gate. Wang Lin's figure reappeared and he immediately took another step. However, if one thunder essence isn't enough, then I'll use 2 complete essences to smash it. If 2 aren't enough, I don't believe 5 complete essences can't open the Great Void Gate. At that time, I'll instantly reach the third step, and even be considered a powerhouse in the third step. Wang Lin's eyes were cold and determined as he disappeared once more. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. Shortly after Wang Lin released the thunder tattoo, the popping sounds of the thunder moving across the mountains echoed, and the roars of the 100,000 cultivators sealed there became even weaker. It was as if they had been completely sealed and no more sound could come out. The thunder tattoo imprinted on the mountains gave off a ghostly light and a faint heaven's might. After a long time, ripples appeared in the sky above the mountains and a person walked out. He was a middle-aged man wearing green, and the moment he appeared, his pupils shrank. He wasn't looking at the mountains but at the sky. It just appeared before.
Voidgate.
This is the aura of the Void Gate, it can't be wrong. The middle-aged man looked very gloomy as he gazed at the sky like he was looking for something. The Void Gate hasn't been opened. Otherwise, my original body would have noticed. A cultivator that can make the Void Gate appear. Interesting, no wonder the Sovereign Council would be so generous as to take out a rank 5 Dao spirit. The middle-aged man was Master Simo's avatar. He wasn't in a rush before. He had made his way here slowly and didn't care too much about the capture. However, now everything changed and he became more serious. After withdrawing his gaze, Master Simo looked at the mountain below him and his pupils shrank again. He took a deep breath and stared at the thunder tattoo imprinted on the mountains. His expression became even more serious. He is a thunder cultivator. He is trying to become a third-step cultivator as a thunder cultivator. Throughout the ages, thunder cultivators have had the most difficult time reaching the third step. Thunder is a power of the heavens, and even in the Scatter Thunder clan, only one person has ever reached the third step. He also stopped at the early stage of Nirvana Void, but if he went crazy and summoned Heavenly Thunder, even mid-stage Nirvana Void cultivators would have a headache dealing him with. No wonder he wanted to destroy the Scatter Thunder clan. His purpose must have been the Eternal Thunderbolt in the Scatter Thunder clan. After devouring the Eternal Thunderbolt, he triggered the appearance of the Void Gate. Master Simo's expression was gloomy, and he roughly guessed what had happened. What is even more terrifying is that even after he tried to break the Void Gate, he had the power to fuse the thunder with the mountains to seal 100,000 cultivators. This kind of feat can't be accomplished by someone ordinary. He must have planned this all along. Only someone who is extremely calm and calculating can do this. Master Simo took a deep breath and a mysterious light shined in his eyes. He gained a strong interest in Wang Lin. Hunting an ancient god already made me excited, and now I can hunt a cultivator like this. Good. Master Simo laughed and didn't even help the 100,000 cultivators below before he turned around to leave. However, just as he turned, he suddenly trembled and turned back around. He carefully looked at the void where the Void Gate had appeared. Something's not right. For the first time, horror and disbelief appeared on his face, along with doubt and shock. There is none. There is no aura of Joss flames. Master Simo paused for a moment and waved his right hand. The wind howled and filled the world, forming a giant image. This image clearly showed Wang Lin charging at the Void Gate 3 times, and how he sealed the 100,000 cultivators. Staring at this dumbfoundedly, Master Simo's face immediately turned pale. He didn't use any Joss flames. There isn't even a trace of Joss flames on him. He actually didn't rely on Joss flames, but caused the Void Gate to appear only by the completion of his essence. This is unheard of, and he actually opened the Void Gate by a sliver. How is this possible? No one can complete their essence without the use of Joss flames. No one can trigger the Void Gate without the use of Joss flames. Master Simo gradually hid the terror in his eyes and replaced it with calm and peace. He then took a step forward and moved at a speed several times faster than when he came, anxiously pursuing Wang Lin through the trail Wang Lin had left. At the moment Wang Lin's thunder essence reached completion and summoned the Void Gate, in the Blue Silk clan, Tao Master Blue Dream's hands over the zither suddenly trembled. He raised his head, waved his sleeves and charged out of the room. Li Qianmei was sitting on a chair and looking at her father, but she didn't say a word. However, the confusion in her eyes was gone and was replaced with clarity. It seemed she had remembered a lot. She then gently stood up and walked out. The moment Tao Master Blue Dream walked out from the room, he waved his right hand. Endless, blue light filled the sky and rapidly condensed into moving pictures. The pictures contained Wang Lin's 3 attempts to break the Void Gate. Tao Master Blue Dream stared at the pictures and carefully examined them. His expression gradually became more solemn, and in the end he was filled with shock. This was a very rare expression to appear on Tao Master Blue Dream's face. Your father underestimated a person. This is the first time I've been wrong. After a long time, Tao Master Blue Dream let out a sigh, and disbelief still remained in his eyes. You will continue to be wrong. No one can see through his future. Even if you're one of the 5 masters of the ancient star system, you still can't. Li Qianmei looked at the man attempting to break the Void Gate in the pictures and smiled gently. Are you blaming your father? Tao Master Blue Dream looked at his own daughter with a complicated expression. Li Qianmei shook her head and softly said, I haven't recovered all of my memories, just a bit. If I had really forgotten him, then it would have been best we never meet again. However, since I remember some, I won't let it go. When my memory is restored, I'll go find him. The woman that had divined Wang Lin's position was cultivating on the island at the center of the lake when Wang Lin triggered the Void Gate. The many flowers and plants all withered and quickly collapsed. The lake around the island became violent, forming a vortex around the island. The woman's eyes suddenly opened, revealing a mysterious and shocking light. The first is the sign flowers withering. The second sign is the lake turning to a vortex. The third sign is thunder descending. The fourth sign is the sea of fire. The fifth sign is the island splitting. The sixth sign is the ancestral remains shattering. As the woman spoke, the sky rumbled and a bolt of thunder descended on the hill of the island. It was heaven shaking. This caused the expression of the woman in black to change greatly. The ancestor passed down 9 signs, and now 3 of them have appeared. There was a star domain in the ancient star system with many cultivation planets. More than 1,000 planets filled this vast star domain. This was a very famous place in the ancient star system called the Fallen Land. A total of 372 small clans lived in this dense area, and it was extremely chaotic. Due to the chaos, traders of large clans or those that had provoked powerful enemies would gather here. Then more and more people gradually gathered here until it formed a force that can't be underestimated. Normally, the Sovereign Council wouldn't allow such a place to exist, and because it harbored a large amount of traders, it was hated by many clans. However, over the countless, very few people dared to attack this place. About 20,000 years ago, a large clan was hunting a trader. When they saw the trader enter this place, they didn't stop but charged in. However, the moment they entered, a gust of wind blew by. The nearly 1,000 cultivators from the large clan immediately died. This was just one of the rumors. Another was that one of the 5 masters, Devil Master 9 Heavens, once secretly came here. However, he was forced to retreat with serious injuries and had set an oath to never take half a step into the Fallen Land. There was another rumor. It stated that millions of years ago, someone stole something from the Sovereign Council but escaped here. Even the Sovereign Council was unexpectedly afraid, and after setting a 100-year agreement, they retreated. These various things made the Fallen Land mysterious, and few people knew its secrets. However, in turn, large amounts of cultivators sought refuge here for various reasons. This Fallen Land gradually became very lively, and became the largest trading hub in the ancient star system. Various treasures were traded here. At this moment, Wang Lin was sitting inside a cave on a planet without much spiritual energy in the Fallen Land. This cave took up a portion of a mountain, and he was the only one inside. Wang Lin had long decided to enter the Fallen Land. He naturally knew of this place after devouring the memories of so many ancient star system cultivators. Now that he was being hunted by the ancient star system order, this was a relatively safe place. After all, the Sovereign Council didn't control this place, so the order couldn't be passed here. Although even though this place wasn't completely safe, the same could be said about the other places in the ancient star system. Out there, he would continue to be hunted, and eventually even third-step cultivators would make their move. As a result, there was no difference where he went. The Fallen Land only took pills and treasures, the stranger the better. Even large amounts of origin crystals were sold. Wang Lin had traded some pills in exchange for 100 years of residence in this cave. Wang Lin had been cultivating here for the past several days and had devoured pills to help his injuries recover. As for his physical injuries, due to the toughness of his ancient god body, he had almost recovered. On this day, while his eyes were closed, his expression changed and he slowly opened his eyes. A figure appeared at the entrance of the cave and quickly entered. "Master, I have returned. Pills cost the most here, far more than treasures. There is also a type of puppet here. Although it's not strong, it's very popular. One only needs to imprint their divine sense on it to be able to control it at will." Zhong Big Red was very excited as he spoke. When Wang Lin arrived here, he had let Zhong Big Red out and sent him to gather some information. Zhong Big Red was from the ancient star system, so it wouldn't be suspicious for him to go out. Also, I found nothing about the ancient star system order, so Master can rest assured. After releasing Zhong Big Red, Wang Lin had used a spell to check his heart. After all, Wang Lin had destroyed the Scatter Thunder clan, and he wasn't sure what ideas Zhong Big Red might have. However, what Wang Lin found strange was that Zhong Big Red unexpectedly had almost no feelings toward the Scatter Thunder clan. From his view, the clan had never helped him, and because of the Thunder Crystal, he had to constantly offer tribute. In his early years, he had relied on himself to rise to his current cultivation level, and he saw how vicious the people in the clan were to each other, so he felt no sense of loyalty. Therefore, after learning he could grow stronger by following Wang Lin, he chose to leave the Scatter Thunder clan without hesitation. Although the Scatter Thunder clan was destroyed, there were a lot of people who had left the clan over the countless years and lived elsewhere. It wouldn't be a surprise for people of the Scatter Thunder clan to appear in the Fallen Land. Wang Lin softly asked, "Puppet?" Zhong Big Red became spirited and quickly said, "Master, this puppet is very expensive here and is made from unknown materials. It can display the power of a normal cultivator and even has divine sense. It is wondrous." Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged. He was interested in the puppet. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin slowly asked, "Is there any news on the Fire Sparrow clan? There aren't many Fire Sparrow clan members here, and I didn't encounter any on this planet. However, after gathering some information, they are mostly gathered on a fire attribute planet nearby. As for the specifics, this little one isn't too familiar, but I should get a clear idea soon." Zhong Big Red patted his chest as he spoke. Wang Lin's eyes shined an indiscernible amount. Although his thunder essence was complete, the accompanying thunders were still a bit flawed. However, he was confident in fixing this. The reason he was still in the ancient star system was for his fire essence. In order to complete his fire essence and awaken the vermilion bird again, he needed to absorb a large amount of fire. The Fire Sparrow clan was Wang Lin's first choice, and he wouldn't easily let them go. However, he wouldn't get lucky with the Fire Sparrow clan like he did with the Scatter Thunder clan, and receive help breaking through all the obstacles. It also wasn't realistic to blend into the Fire Sparrow clan to approach the core of the clan. Wang Lin originally planned to do this, but he was now being hunted by the entire ancient star system. It was very likely that before he could get into the core of the Fire Sparrow clan, the people hunting him would arrive. Although this was the case, Wang Lin did think of a strange method. If he succeed, he could completely devour the fire from the Fire Sparrow clan. "Zhong Big Red, take my pills and buy a puppet." Wang Lin pondered a bit before waving his right hand, causing 3 pills to appear. A burst of fragrance filled the cave. Zhong Big Red stared at the pills and swallowed hard before respectfully receiving them. Holding the pills, Zhong Big Red revealed a flattering smile and whispered, "Master, there are also cultivation furnaces being sold, should this little one." Wang Lin frowned, causing Zhong Big Red to shut up and quickly leave. After leaving the cave, Zhong Big Red's clothes became covered in sweat. Although following Wang Lin was a big opportunity, that frown had terrified Zhong Big Red. When I was in Master's storage space, that Su Ligua was too vicious. He constantly bullied me because his cultivation level is higher. I'll remember this. Once my cultivation level increases, I'll definitely get my revenge. Humph, humph, as long as I properly serve Master, that day won't be far away. Zhong Big Red held the pills and flew off into the distance. He had been here for several days. Relying on his invincible art and his clever nature, he had made friends with quite a few of the lower-rank cultivators. Soon he arrived outside a valley and clasped his hands. Big Brother Zhong, Little Brother Zhong is here to visit. This valley was very quiet and was filled with thorn plants. At a glance it was desolate and filled with yin energy. There were also scattered animal bones on the ground that formed a formation. There was a cave in the inner part of the valley. There was no door to the cave, but a black fog covered the entrance, making it impossible to see inside. After Zhong Big Red spoke, a strange laugh came from the cave and the black fog shot into the sky. At the same time, a skinny old man wearing a black robe walked out from the cave. This old man's hair was a mess and his body was like a bag of bones. His eyes were bloodshot and he looked extremely scary. The skinny old man floated next to Zhong Big Red and said, "So it's Little Brother Zhong. You said earlier that you had to return to your master. I didn't expect you to return so fast." Zhong Big Red's expression remained neutral and he smiled. He waved his right hand and took out one of the 3 pills Wang Lin had given him. He flicked one directly toward the skinny old man. The old man's eyes suddenly narrowed and he took a closer look. His expression immediately changed and ecstasy filled his eyes. "This is a high-quality pill. It is extremely suitable for my cultivation and extremely hard to find. Little Brother Zhong, this?" Zhong Big Red laughed and clasped his hands. "No harm, this kind of pill is useless to Master. Little Brother sees that Big Brother has been at the mid-stage of soul formation for a long time, and I presume you need the pill. Just accept it." The skinny old man took a deep breath and was no longer polite as he quickly put the pills away. He looked at Zhong Big Red and whispered, "Little Brother Zhong, your master's cultivation level, could it?" The old man hesitated a bit before saying, "Could he be at the yin and yang stage?" Zhong Big Red expected this person to talk about his master, so his expression immediately turned respectful and he whispered, "My master's cultivation is heaven-piercing and even I don't know the exact cultivation level. However, I've seen Master kill Nirvana Scryer cultivators with one blow." The skinny old man sucked in a breath of cold air, and he didn't dare to try to find out if this was the truth or a lie. It didn't matter if it was true or not. Someone who could casually take out pills like this was not someone he could provoke. Little Brother Zhong is fortunate to follow such a master. Your cultivation will definitely soar in the future. Don't forget your big brother then. The skinny old man's eyes were filled with envy as he clasped his hands. Zhong Big Red clasped his hands and laughed. "Naturally. In fact, I came out this time to ask Big Brother Zhong for help. Little brother can ask. As long as I can do it, I'll help." He had met Zhong Big Red several days ago. This person was obviously very rich, and the pills Zhong Big Red had made his eyes red. He wanted to steal from him, but he was cautious. After gathering some information, he had learned that Zhong Big Red had a master. Someone who could make a soul formation cultivator. His servant was not someone he could fight, so he had suppressed his greed. Zhong Big Red was also good at flattering and gave out a lot of pills. Just like this, the two gradually became acquainted, with their own agendas in mind. Originally, this old man was still suspicious, but seeing how Zhong Big Red's master could casually hand out pills like this, he felt Zhong Big Red's master had become a lot more mysterious. Earlier, Big Brother Zhong mentioned the puppet and Little Brother went back to tell Master. "My master is interested in buying a puppet." Big Brother Zhong knows Little Brother is new and unfamiliar with this place. "I hope Big Brother Zhong can help me on this, and once this matter is done, there will definitely thank you." Zhong Big Red's eyes lit up and he smiled as he looked at the skinny old man. After the old man heard this, he hesitated and whispered, "Brother Zhong, this puppet is not easy to buy. If we were on the main planet, it'd be easy, but here the Dark Scorpion clan controls the trade on puppets. They are extremely domineering and the price is several times higher. Are you sure you want to buy?" Seeing Zhong Big Red nodding, the skinny old man pondered for a bit before clenching his teeth. "Okay then, I'll take you there once." After he spoke, he led the way and they charged off into the distance. There was a ruined city on the western area of the planet. It looked to be in disrepair, with the walls broken in many places, but it was extremely lively. A large amount of cultivators moved about there. The skinny old man was obviously very familiar with this place. He led Zhong Big Red to a relatively complete building, and they carefully walked inside. The hall was at the center of the city, but very few cultivators were here. It was as if the cultivators dreaded the hall and didn't dare to casually enter. They would often go around it. Zhong Big Red and the old man's figures were seen by many people. A lot of them secretly shook their heads. The moment they entered the hall, Zhong Big Red's body trembled as he felt cold energy come from all directions. He couldn't withstand it at all with his cultivation, so it immediately entered his body. It was as if a big hammer had slammed down on his heart, and he immediately coughed out a mouthful of blood. The old man was a bit better, but his face was pale. He quickly kneeled on the ground and said, "Juniors have no ill intent, we just want to buy a puppet." The hall was very large and there was a statue in the center. This statue was dark and it was a statue of a scorpion. It had its tail raised and gave off a chilling aura. The cold energy that made Zhong Big Red cough out blood came from this scorpion. Want to buy puppet? What can two little soul formation cultivators like you have to buy puppets? A cold voice echoed as a person walked out from the back of the hall. This person wore black and looked around 40 years old. He had a gloomy expression and a look of contempt in his eyes. There was a ferocious scorpion mark between his eyebrows. This scorpion was lifelike and looked almost alive. The tail unexpectedly swayed and gave off a demonic feeling. Zhong Big Red took a deep breath and quickly bowed. He took out the pill Wang Lin had given him and respectfully said, "Junior wishes to use this pill to trade for a puppet." The middle-aged man's expression remained the same and his right hand reached out. The pill flew into his hand. He casually looked at it. However, his eyes immediately changed and he completely ignored Zhong Big Red and the old man. He quickly sniffed the pill. Then his divine sense spread out and his pupils shrank. "It's actually a soul pill." The middle-aged man's gaze fell on Zhong Big Red. Then he slowly said, "How many more do you have?" Zhong Big Red bitterly smiled and said, "There is only one." As he spoke, he didn't even wait for the other to ask and took it out himself. Holding the two pills, the middle-aged man was still sizing Zhong Big Red up. After a long time, he withdrew his gaze. He believed that the person in front of him must have gotten very lucky. These pills were rare and two were already a lot. After nodding, the middle-aged man waved his hand. His clan mark shined and a puppet that looked exactly like a real person appeared before them. There was no clan mark between the puppet's eyebrows, and it had a dull expression. There was no intelligence and no vitality, only a gloomy aura. Its cultivation level was about early-stage soul formation. These two pills can only exchange for this puppet. The two of you can scram. The middle-aged man turned around and quickly walked into the depths of the hall. It wasn't until he left that Zhong Big Red and the old man looked at each other. They both saw the fear in each other's eyes. Zhong Big Red felt regret. He didn't think that just trading for a puppet would result in them encountering a life and death crisis. He quickly collected the puppet and left with the skinny old man. As for the middle-aged man, after entering the temple, he took a step and sunk into the ground. There was another world hidden underground. There was tower hidden underground and the hall was merely the top. This was the second floor, and it also had a scorpion statue, but there was a young man sitting on top of it. As the young man was cultivating, he seemed to be absorbing power from the statue. When the middle-aged man arrived, he opened his eyes. "Young master, earlier 2 soul formation cultivators brought these 2 pills." The middle-aged man quickly handed over the pills. The aloof young man picked them up, and after looking at them, he slowly said, "Soul pills. The rank is ordinary, but the soul is not bad. No need to make such a fuss. As for the 2 little cultivators, capture one and injure the other. Leave a divine sense mark and see where he goes. Don't bother me with such trifle matter in the future." The young man closed his eyes and no longer paid attention to this. The middle-aged man bowed and then disappeared. Zhong Big Red and the skinny old man quickly left the city. In the sky, the old man wryly smiled and said, Little brother Zhong, the Dark Scorpion clan is extremely domineering, and no one on this planet dares to provoke them. We were lucky to be able to trade for the puppet. If... The old man didn't get to finish speaking before his pupil shrank and he looked ahead. Zhong Big Red trembled and his scalp felt numb. He didn't hesitate to charge forward and escape. There was a cold snort, and shortly after 2 rays of black light shot out. One of them shot toward the old man. He wasn't able to resist at all and was immediately captured. The other ray of black light instantly caught up to Zhong Big Red and landed on his back. His face immediately turned black and he coughed out blood as he escaped like crazy. The middle-aged man from the Dark Scorpion clan appeared and coldly looked at where Zhong Big Red disappeared to. He turned around and grabbed the unconscious old man before returning to the Dark Scorpion clan's main hall. Zhong Big Red's face was extremely pale. The life and death situation he had just faced had taught that this place was far more dangerous than the Scatter Thunder clan. The pills attracted too much attention, alas. I handled this wrong. Not only did I hurt fellow cultivator Zhong, but I almost caused a calamity. Zhong Big Red flew at top speed toward Wang Lin's cave. Cultivation. If I had a higher cultivation level, a cultivation level like Su Ligua's, this would not have turned out like this. Zhong Big Red must become strong. Zhong Big Red clenched his teeth, filled with determination. An hour later, Wang Lin's cave appeared before him. After landing on the mountain, Zhong Big Red revealed a bitter expression and walked toward the entrance. He coughed out another mouthful of blood when he landed. Wang Lin was cultivating and opened his eyes the moment Zhong Big Red walked in. His eyes shined like bright lights as he looked at Zhong Big Red. Wang Lin slowly asked, "Where's the puppet?" Zhong Big Red's face was pale and he silently waved his hand. The puppet appeared. Wang Lin's right hand reached out and the puppet flew toward him before stopping before him. Wang Lin carefully looked at it, and his eyes revealed a strange light. This thing. A moment later, Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and put the puppet away. Then he casually asked, "How did you get injured?" Zhong Big Red pondered for a long time and then softly told him everything that had happened. In the end, he saw Wang Lin's expression become more gloomy, and he bitterly said, "Master, I was reckless on this matter. If I had controlled the information better, this wouldn't have happened. At least I got the puppet and completed Master's order. As for my injury, I will be able to recover after going into closed-door cultivation for a period of time." He saw that Wang Lin didn't speak, and when Wang Lin's expression became even more gloomy, his heart trembled. He whispered, "Master escaped to the fallen land to escape pursuit. This little one can endure." Before he finished speaking, he heard Wang Lin let out a cold snort and his face turned even more pale. What a poisonous method! No matter how much time you spend in closed-door cultivation, you can't easily recover. That person broke the trajectory of the cultivation in your body, and also left a divine sense imprint. Zhong Big Red's body trembled and he clenched his fists. However, he quickly loosened his fists and silently pondered. "You're my subordinate. You can endure it, but I can't." Wang Lin got up and walked toward the exit. Zhong Big Red suddenly looked up and stared at Wang Lin. His eyes couldn't help but turn red and he whispered, "Master." Wang Lin didn't turn around but coldly said, "Lead the way." Zhong Big Red took a deep breath and killing intent appeared in his eyes. Without hesitation, he led Wang Lin toward the city. Wang Lin thought that he was too slow and grabbed him. They moved like lightning and caused thunderous rumbles as they charged toward the city. All the cultivators on the cultivation planet felt a tremble in their souls. The sky changed colors, the earth trembled, and the clouds scattered. In only a moment, Wang Lin had brought Zhong Big Red to the broken city. He loosened his hand and allowed Zhong Big Red to float beside him. Zhong Big Red was excited as he pointed at the city and whispered, "Master, the Dark Scorpion clan is there." Wang Lin's eyes glowed like torches as he looked at the city below him. "This city will be destroyed in 3 breaths. People not related quickly leave." His voice was like thunder descending on the city. The sound created a blast that caused the city below to tremble and kick up a large amount of dust. The expressions of the cultivators in the city all changed greatly, and some even coughed out blood. Then they frantically escaped the city. Inside the main hall, The middle-aged man was sitting there while the old man named Zhang was filled with fear, begging for mercy. Just as he was about to continue, Wang Lin's voice echoed. The middle-aged man's eyes suddenly opened in shock and he coughed out blood. He immediately stood up. Not only him, but all the Dark Scorpion clan cultivators cultivating in the tower opened their eyes and stood up in shock. Even the young man in the second floor trembled and his face turned pale. The voice had penetrated the earth and landed directly here, shaking the tower. 3 breaths of time passed by in an instant and Wang Lin's right hand pressed down. Thunderous rumbles echoed as endless thunder gathered from all directions, forming a giant thunder net. It descended on the city as Wang Lin's hand pressed down. The endless thunder created a scene that shocked the hearts of all the cultivators escaping from the city. With a thunderous bang, the earth trembled violently and the thunder net fell. The entire city collapsed. Even the tower collapsed, and the entire city became a ruin. Countless cracks more than 1,000 feet deep appeared. This caused the tower hidden under the earth to reveal more than half of itself. The top of the tower had already collapsed, and the old man named Zhang was looking at the sky. He saw Zhong Big Red and his mind trembled. He is Zhong Big Red's master? The middle-aged man next to the old man named Zhang was gobsmacked. This was so sudden he didn't even have time to react. Wang Lin slowly descended and floated where the collapsed roof was. Zhong Big Red followed Wang Lin with excitement in his eyes. Wang Lin pointed at the middle-aged man and looked at Zhong Big Red. Was it him who hurt you? Zhong Big Red stared viciously at the middle-aged man and nodded. He pressed his hand against his chest and gnashed his teeth. That's right, it was definitely him. The middle-aged man's face immediately turned pale, and he didn't hesitate to retreat. His hands formed a seal and the scorpion between his eyebrows began to move as if it was alive and gave off a demonic glow. However, just at this instant, Wang Lin calmly raised his hand and pointed. With one point of his finger, the world changed colors, clouds scattered, and endless rumbles echoed. Endless clouds suddenly appeared in the sky. When Wang Lin's finger landed, the thunder in the sky rumbled. A bolt of thunder as thick as a thumb descended at an unimaginable speed. The middle-aged man trembled and the bolt of thunder struck his head. A destructive storm rushed into his body from his forehead. Popping sounds echoed inside his body as his flesh and blood shattered. His bones fragmented, and his origin soul was destroyed. After the thunder passed, the middle-aged man seemed to have evaporated. All traces of him had disappeared as if he had never appeared before. After the thunder passed, the surroundings were deathly silent. The cultivators that had escaped the city were filled with intense fear. They looked at Wang Lin with terror in their eyes. With a raise of his hand, Wang Lin had caused the clouds to gather and thunder to descend to instantly kill an illusory cultivator. This spell was enough to shake the minds of all the cultivators here. The old man named Zhang was completely pale and had even stopped breathing. He was in a daze and his face revealed unimaginable horror. Even Zhong Big Red was shaken. Even though he had seen Wang Lin's power back in the Scatter Thunder clan, seeing it again here, he felt Wang Lin's infinite might once more. Wang Lin's expression hadn't changed at all, even thought he was being hunted and was hiding in the fallen land. If it was anyone else, they would want to avoid everything and wouldn't casually act. However, Wang Lin's cultivation was heaven-shaking, and he had experienced too much danger in his life. He had walked on the line between life and death too many times. So what if his pursuers found him? Even if it would attract powerful enemies, he wouldn't just ignore his servant being injured. Just like what he said before, even if Zhong Big Red could endure it, he couldn't. There were few people in this world who could force him to endure. Wang Lin was not like his weak self from the past. He was now a powerhouse and had the heart of a powerhouse. Even tigers could be bullied by dogs when they left their mountain, and dragons could be forced to back down by shrimps. But in truth, it was because the tigers and dragons were willing. If they weren't, who would dare to provoke them? This matter wasn't over with just killing the middle-aged man. Since he had decided to act, he was going to destroy all threats. Wang Lin's right foot stomped the ground. The top floor of the tower trembled and cracks spread from his feet. Soon the entire floor was covered in cracks. The top floor of the tower collapsed with a bang. Zhong Big Red held the old man named Zhang, and they stared dumbfoundedly at what was happening below. They saw Wang Lin sink down and arrive at the second floor when the floor shattered. Just as he descended, a fierce aura filled with killing intent appeared. There was a roar and a ghostly light shot toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression remained neutral. The moment the ghostly light closed in, his right hand casually reached out. A giant hand appeared and caught the ghostly light. No matter how much it struggled, it couldn't break free. The ghostly light flashed violently in the hand that had appeared, revealing a purple bead. It flashed violently and even more intense light came from it. Dark scorpion bead collapse. A roar echoed and a destructive aura came from the rotating bead. Just as it was about to explode, Wang Lin's right hand mercilessly squeezed. With a bang, the bead shattered, releasing the destructive power inside, destroying this floor of the tower. The young master retreated from the dust with a pale face, but he stared straight ahead with eyes filled with shock. This bead is a bit interesting. Wang Lin's indifferent voice came out from the dust. His uninjured figure slowly walked out. The moment he appeared, the youth revealed a look of disbelief. His scalp was numb and he was almost scared out of his wits. He was extremely clear on the power of that dark scorpion bead. The explosion was enough to seriously injure a Nirvana Scryer cultivator, but this person was able to casually withstand it with a simple squeeze without suffering any injuries. Just thinking about this made the youth tremble. He was terrified and was about to escape when Wang Lin waved his right hand. An electric net appeared and surrounded the youth. It immediately shrank, and the youth's scream followed. He lost all power to resist, as if he was sealed, and floated in the air. Without even looking at the youth, Wang Lin stomped the ground once more, dropping down to the next floor. Just as he entered, he waved his sleeves and caused a sea of fire to appear. Two old men charged out at him from below. The fire immediately caused the two of them to cough out blood, and the fire entered their bodies. The fire formed a seal and they floated into the air. They are indeed like scorpions that like to move about in the dark underground, still not willing to appear even with all this. Wang Lin calmly walked into the next floor. Just like this, Wang Lin continued down floor by floor. Mournful screams echoed as more dark scorpion clan members were sealed and thrown into the air. There were now dozens of them. Your Excellency has gone too far. Just as Wang Lin continued down, a roar suddenly came from the depths of the tower. At the same time, a powerful force came from underground and charged toward Wang Lin, who was in middle floor of the tower. This storm rose through the tower floor by floor. More power gathered with each floor it passed, and in the blink of an eye, it broke through the floor Wang Lin was on. This storm appeared clearly before Wang Lin's eyes. Inside was a black scorpion almost 100 feet large. This scorpion was formed by a spell, and it charged at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He didn't retreat, and his hand formed a fist. The ancient god power in his body condensed like crazy, and then he threw a punch at the incoming scorpion. The moment his punch flew out, an ancient god silhouette appeared behind him, and also threw a punch that immediately collided with the scorpion. Thunderous rumbles echoed like crazy, creating an indescribable shockwave that scattered in all directions. The sky changed colors and the earth rumbled. The entire planet shook violently and large amounts of dust were kicked into the air. There was a thunderous bang, causing the exposed part of the tower to tremble and countless cracks to appear on it. The impact caused the entire exposed part of the tower to collapse into countless fragments that scattered in all directions. Even the part hidden underground suddenly collapsed and set off a huge shockwave underground. It was as if earth dragons were moving underground as mighty waves were set off. When the tower collapsed, dozens of cultivators were forced out from inside. Their faces were all pale and they coughed out blood as they looked at Wang Lin with intense fear in their eyes. The surrounding cultivators watching all anxiously retreated. They were completely shocked by what had happened. It was something they had never seen before in their lives. At the center of the collapsed tower, Wang Lin's clothes flapped as the wind blew on him. His hair flowed in the wind, but his body didn't move. He withdrew his right hand and calmly looked down as he coldly said, "You hurt my servant and now you're saying I'm going too far? You all are too weak." There was a giant skull more than 10,000 feet large. It was originally hidden by the tower above it, but now that it was gone, everything below was clearly revealed before him. Deep within the skull was an old man sitting on some broken stones. He wore a black robe with the scorpion embroidery. This scorpion was a bit strange. It had a total of 9 tails. There was also a scorpion mark between his eyebrows, but compared to the one on his robe, it was inferior. His clan mark only had 4 tails. These 4 scorpion tails hung down, covering his face and making him look terrifying. However, at this moment, his face was pale and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. He suddenly looked up and his eyes revealed a ferocious light before charging at Wang Lin. Although my Dark Scorpion clan is only a small clan, it is one of the 372 clans recognized by the Fallen Land. If you act against me today, you will make an enemy out of the entire Fallen Land. If that happens, the Emperor of the Fallen Land definitely won't spare you. A mere second Heaven's Blight cultivator dares to speak like this before me? Wang Lin's expression was calm and his gaze was like lightning as he looked at the old man. Thunder flashed in his right eye and the world immediately trembled. The old man's expression changed greatly. In his eyes, the other person had disappeared and was replaced by a bolt of thunder. This bolt of thunder descended from the sky and penetrated his eyes, directly entering his mind. The old man's mind trembled and his face showed even more pain. He coughed out even more blood and quickly retreated. Disbelief filled his eyes. 4th Heaven's Blight. This is the power of 4th Heaven's Blight cultivation. Damn it! How did my Dark Scorpion clan offend an old monster like this? Just as the old man was about to retreat, Wang Lin reached out toward him. The old man immediately became aware of the origin energy surging like crazy around him. It was as if the origin energy had formed an invisible cage and was closing in on him from all directions. Popping sounds echoed inside him and intense pain filled his body as if all his bones were going to collapse. The sense of life and death filled his body and the old man no longer dared to retreat. He had a feeling that if he retreated, he would without a doubt die. At this moment, he didn't hesitate to hit his clan mark, and it began to move strangely. In an instant, the 4-tailed scorpion immediately flew out and floated in the air. It grew until it was 1,000 feet large and then waved its tail and let out a roar. This 1,000-foot scorpion was extremely ferocious, and when it appeared, it let a hiss as it charged at Wang Lin. The old man was still unsure as his hand reached at the void while clenching his teeth. There was a flash of light and hundreds of puppets charged out. Every single puppet gave off the aura of a yin and yang cultivator. After they appeared, they immediately surrounded Wang Lin. The old man had a ferocious expression and immediately retreated after roaring, "All puppets, explode for me!" Wang Lin let out a sneer and completely ignored the scorpion and puppets. Ripples appeared under his feet and he disappeared. The old man was rapidly retreating, but his body suddenly trembled. Wang Lin's figure appeared from the void behind him, and his index finger casually pointed at the old man's forehead. The shadow of death filled the old man's heart and his eyes became filled with fear. He wanted to dodge, but the gap in strength made it impossible for him to avoid it. He could only watch as the finger closed in on him. The finger didn't even touch him, but the aura it contained caused a rumble inside the old man's body. Bang! The old man's body shook violently and his origin soul was shaken out from his body. His origin soul floated there and didn't dare to move. The fear in his eyes was monstrous and he seemed to be begging for mercy. The 4-tailed scorpion mark returned to the old man and became a mark once more. His body was thrown back in an arc and while coughing out blood, landed on the ground. Wang Lin's index finger was pointed at the old man's origin soul's forehead as he slowly said, "Are you still going to run? Just the aura from his fingertip is enough to force my origin soul out of my body and seriously injure me. If I was hit by that finger, I'd be killed instantly. This person is definitely not just at the 4th Heaven's Blight." The old man trembled and shook his head. He had almost lost his wits, and the power in that finger made him give up all will to resist. That finger hadn't even landed between his eyebrows yet, but this just terrified him even more. "From now on, your Dark Scorpion clan belongs to me and will obey all my orders. Otherwise, I'll wipe out your entire clan." Wang Lin withdrew his index finger and coldly looked at the old man's origin soul. The old man trembled and nodded. He whispered, "The Fallen Land always obeys the strong. To have a strong master like you is good fortune for my Dark Scorpion clan." All 176 of my Dark Scorpion clan members will obey Master. No one will dare to disobey. Zhong Big Red rolled his eyes and quickly said, Master, you absolutely can't just listen to their words. Make them issue an oath with their clan marks. If they violate the oath, then the entire Dark Scorpion clan will die. After the old man heard Zhong Big Red's words, his body trembled and he looked at Zhong Big Red with a vicious gaze. However, that viciousness soon collapsed and he revealed a bitter expression and nodded. Okay, this old man will issue an clan oath that you will be our master. If we betray you, we will die without a grave. After he spoke, his clan mark gave off a ghostly light. The four-tailed scorpion seemed to be in extreme pain and let out a silent roar. Soon, the light dissipated and an imprint slowly appeared on the scorpion. The surrounding Dark Scorpion clan members were released by Wang Lin. They had personally witnessed what had happened, including the person referred to as Young Master. Fear filled their eyes. They all made an oath with their clan marks. As a result, the Dark Scorpion clan became the first ancient star system clan Wang Lin had taken over. Wang Lin's cave became the Dark Scorpion clan's holy land. Using the spell of the Dark Scorpion clan, they turned the area around the cave into a desert. This would become the new home for the Dark Scorpion clan. After the old man named Zhang saw Wang Lin's might, his mind was shaken. He had made up his mind that he would absolutely follow Zhong Big Red. As for Zhong Big Red, he had become even more spirited. He was able to command the Dark Scorpion clan with his soul formation cultivation. There are 372 small clan in the Fallen Land. My Dark Scorpion clan is at the bottom. We only control this almost abandoned planet and have few members. The ancient star system has the Sovereign Council, while the Fallen Land is ruled by the Fallen Council. There is a total of 13 Fallen Elders who are in charge of the Fallen Land. As for the Great Emperor of the Fallen Land, he controls the Fallen Council. He is very mysterious, and the rumor is that he is a third-step cultivator, which is why this place is not controlled by the Sovereign Council. The Elders of the Fallen Council aren't set. Every 100 years they can be challenged, and the winner becomes the new elder. Rumor has it that over the years, the Sovereign Council has secretly sent many people here in order to take an elder spot. However, none have ever succeeded and they all inexplicably died during the challenge. If you don't intend to become a fallen elder, there is no need to worry about your life. The old man from the Dark Scorpion clan looked at Wang Lin at this point. At this moment, he was respectfully standing in Wang Lin's cave and telling Wang Lin everything he knew. As for the puppet, it can only be bought from cultivation planets controlled by a fallen elder. Even the puppets in my Dark Scorpion clan were bought from there. However, the higher cultivation level of the puppet, the more difficult it is to buy. Ordinary cultivators can't even buy them. Only clans of the Fallen Land are qualified to buy them. Rumor has it that the method of making the puppets was passed down by the Great Emperor. As for the method of making them, only the 13 elders know. Among all the puppets in the Dark Scorpion clan, the most powerful is a Nirvana Cleanser puppet, which cost a heavenly fortune. If this is taken out of the Fallen Land, it can be exchanged for a lot of treasures and pills. As the old man spoke, he touched his clan mark. There was a flash of light and a puppet that looked like a middle-aged man appeared. This puppet had a numb expression, and at a glance it looked like a real person. However, upon closer inspection, one would find that it had no vitality and was covered in seals, making it impossible to see inside. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he carefully looked at the puppet. After pondering for a bit, he slowly asked, "Does the Fallen Land have Nirvana Shatterer puppets?" The old man hesitated for a moment, and after a long time he whispered, "It does." Wang Lin's mind was shaken, but he remained calm and slowly said, "Oh? Are there Heaven's Blight puppets?" The old man pondered even longer and said, "This little one isn't sure, but some people have said they have seen Heaven's Blight puppets. I just don't know if it is true or not." Wang Lin's eyes shined brightly. He didn't expect to find such an unimaginable thing in the Fallen Land. A Heaven's Blight puppet was too shocking. Since there are Heaven's Blight cultivators, could there be third-step puppets? Wang Lin didn't ask this, as such a matter was too absurd and he didn't believe there were any. A moment later, Wang Lin asked, "What is the influence of the Fire Sparrow clan here?" The Fire Sparrow clan is one of the big clans in the ancient star system, and they have sent people here over years. There are a few hundred of them, although everyone knows they were sent by the Fire Sparrow clan. Since they don't participate in the elder struggle, they remain safe. They have made friends with various clans and participate in the puppet trade. They secretly collect blazing fire mutation crystals, and every now and then, they send them back to the Fire Sparrow clan. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Blazing fire mutation crystals? This is an object unique to the Fallen Land. Rumor has it that it was brought by the Great Emperor and is a material used to make puppets. However, they are very rare. I have a small piece and can offer it to Master. The old man hesitated before taking out a white sandstone about the size of a grain of rice. Wang Lin grabbed the white sandstone and carefully looked at it. His pupils rapidly shrank but soon returned to normal. You can leave. Gather all news of the Fire Sparrow clan and report it all to me in detail. Wang Lin waved his hand and the old man quickly left. After he left, the door of the cave closed and Wang Lin placed down restrictions. He immediately looked down at the white sandstone in his hand, and his eyes grew brighter and brighter along with a hint of shock. Blazing Fire Mutation Crystal. So it is called the Blazing Fire Mutation Crystal. Back then, the old Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor said that the four divine sect originated in the ancient star system, and then entered the inner realm. This is indeed true. This Blazing Fire Mutation Crystal was brought here by the mysterious Emperor of the Fallen Land. But why would it be here? Unless. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and revealed a hint of uncontainable excitement. As soon as the old man took out the Blazing Fire Mutation Crystal, Wang Lin recognized it. Wang Lin had seen this before and had even spent several years healing on it. In the Alliance star system, deep within the burning space of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect, there floated a large white stone. That was where the old Divine Emperor cultivated. The blazing fire mutated crystal of the Fallen Land was exactly the same as the white stone. Could it be that the Great Emperor is related to the Vermilion Bird Sect? Wang Lin didn't hold much affection toward the Vermilion Bird Sect. However, he owed the old Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor a lot, and it was a kindness Wang Lin was unable to just forget. The old Divine Emperor's spirit and his tens of thousands of years of silent dedication had filled Wang Lin's heart with respect. In Wang Lin's eyes, the old Divine Emperor was the same as the Lord of the Sealed Realm. The only difference was that one guarded the four divine sect, while the other guarded the entire inner realm. What made Wang Lin so excited was what the old Divine Emperor had told him. My name is Lu Yun, and I was born in the ancient Qi refiner world. I became the alchemy boy of the fourth generation Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. I'm thankful to the fourth Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor for not abandoning me and teaching me Qi cultivation. At the age of 1327, I gained some achievements as a Qi refiner. I followed the Divine Emperor and witnessed the glory of my Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. At age 11,463, the Tattoo clan invaded from outside and stirred up the world. My Vermilion Bird Divine Sect helped the Celestial Realm battle the Tattoo clan. Afterwards, the fourth Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor left with the other three Divine Emperors to head to the outside world. Before they left, I was designated the fifth Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. Wang Lin's gaze was still on the small blazing fire mutation crystal, and his eyes lit up. The old Divine Emperor said that the fourth generation Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor came with the other three Divine Emperors to the outer realm, and then he never received any news from them. The Fallen Land also possesses someone that belonged to the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. Could it be that the fourth generation Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor came to this Fallen Land back then? Looking at the time window, that doesn't seem right. Wang Lin suppressed his initial excitement and began to think. After a long time, he still wasn't sure and let out a big sigh. I'll know this sooner or later. I didn't expect that such a secret could be found here in the Fallen Land. If this place is really related to the fourth generation Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor, then perhaps I can achieve my fourth awakening here. Then my fire will become ethereal fire that can ignite the fire of anger in my enemies and burn them to ashes. When that happens, even though my fire essence won't be complete, it will be like heaven and earth compared to my current fire. Back then I couldn't see through this crystal, but now after my third awakening, I can make this crystal erupt with a destructive force that can destroy heaven itself. Wang Lin waved his right hand and put the crystal into his storage space. There was also a stone statue in his storage space. This was the stone statue formed the body of the old vermilion bird divine emperor. He maintained the pose of his finger pointing to between his eyebrows. His divine sense swept by the stone statue. After pondering for a bit, his gaze moved to the puppet. This puppet was that of a middle-aged man, and he stood there motionlessly with a dumb expression. Wang Lin's divine sense shot out and surrounded the puppet. His divine sense then turned into countless fine needles that penetrated the puppet's body. Wang Lin's divine sense slowly entered inch by inch as he attempted to see through the puppet's secrets. As time slowly passed, Wang Lin's expression became serious. This puppet contained no flesh or blood, but was formed by a strange crystal. This crystal was soft and small. As for its bones, they were also made of crystal. But this crystal was extremely strong and emitted powerful origin energy. There was a soft layer of light inside the puppet, and it was extremely tough. When Wang Lin's divine sense tried to enter, he was stopped. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he used all his divine sense to rush into the puppet in charge at that layer of protection. There was a thunderous bang and the puppet's body trembled. Wang Lin suddenly stood up. His divine sense could destroy that puppet, but couldn't break through that layer of protection. At that moment, if he hadn't withdrawn his divine sense fast enough, that layer of light would have destroyed all the secrets inside without letting someone else see it. Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and his expression became solemn as he pondered. This puppet is interesting. Wang Lin's right hand reached out and the puppet flew toward him, stopping just 3 inches away from his hand. This allowed Wang Lin to easily press his hand against the puppet's chest. His divine sense came out once more and went through his right hand. It was about to extend into the puppet once more when Wang Lin's body trembled, and he let out a surprised sound. There are meridians inside this puppet. Being this close to the puppet and touching it allowed Wang Lin not notice something he didn't pay attention to before. He saw almost completely hidden meridians that had dried up, and were extremely different to detect within this puppet's body. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he sucked in a breath of cold air. He looked more carefully and was shocked. This isn't a puppet, but a cultivator. This is a puppet formed by refining a cultivator using some unknown method. Wang Lin silently looked at the puppet. The puppet had a numb expression. His eyes were hollow without any sign of life or intelligence. The crystal replacing the puppet's flesh and blood. It feels familiar, as if I have seen it before. Wang Lin pondered for a bit before determination filled his eyes. The secret of this puppet should be hidden inside the layer of protection. Only by looking inside can I see its secret. Wang Lin's divine sense moved and the thunder tattoo in his right eye flashed before flying out. The entire cave was covered in thunder, and while a thunderous rumble echoed, the thunder spread out. The thunder spread out from inside the cave, causing the face of the Dark Scorpion clan members to turn pale, and they all looked at the cave. Activating the thunder tattoo had caused Wang Lin's cultivation level to increase greatly. Even his divine sense was like a thunderstorm, and it charged at the layer of protection inside the puppet. When his divine sense collided with it, a thunderous rumble echoed and the light began to collapse as it wasn't able to withstand the divine sense. However, at the same time, what was inside also began to collapse, not allowing anyone to see the secret within. However, just at this instant, Wang Lin's eyes suddenly lit up and he shouted, "Stop!" With one word, he stopped the movement of the heavens, and everything inside the puppet stopped as well. However, the light only paused for a moment before it returned to normal and collapsed. The puppet that was stopped collapsed with it as well. The puppet exploded and the shockwave spread to the mountain, creating a thunderous rumble. The mountain shook and large amounts of dirt fell off it. If not for the restrictions Wang Lin had placed, the mountain would have become a flat ruin and even the planet would have shaken violently. The surrounding Dark Scorpion clan cultivators all looked at the cave in fear. The old man revealed a bitter smile. He felt a familiar aura from the shockwave, so he knew that puppet had likely been destroyed. The cave was filled with clouds of dirt, but it gradually settled. Wang Lin stood there with his eyes shining brightly. Although the stop spell had only stopped the collapse for an instant, it had still allowed him to see the secret inside. He saw an origin soul floating inside. The origin soul looked exactly the same as the puppet. This discovery made Wang Lin certain that the puppet was a cultivator. The moment the puppet collapsed, The particles that replaced the flesh and blood shattered. It was as if lightning had struck Wang Lin, and he remembered why they looked familiar. In the demon spirit land, he had seen the severed head of an ancient god. There were some crystals particles left on the wound, and they looked extremely similar to these particles. He still had a small bottle that contained the particles he had collected from that wound on the ancient god's head. Wang Lin vaguely grasped some clues, but they were extremely messy and he couldn't link them together. Great Emperor of the Fallen Land. Who the hell is this person? Wang Lin silently pondered as the door to the cave opened and he walked out. Scorpion Elder. Lead the way to the nearest cultivation planet with a fallen elder. The old man from the Dark Scorpion clan quickly nodded after hearing Wang Lin's words and led the way. At this moment, ripples appeared in the space outside the fallen land and a middle-aged man walked out. This was the person pursuing Wang Lin, Master Simo. His eyes were gloomy and revealed a strange light as he looked ahead at the star domain that wasn't controlled by the Sovereign Council. Grandmaster Yun Luo divined that he was hiding in the fallen land. This place is extremely chaotic, so I have to be careful. Good thing I came here before and saved the 9th fallen elder, the armored dragon clan's head. Borrowing his identity, I should have no problem. As Master Simo pondered, he charged forward toward the fallen land. I have to find him as soon as possible, regardless of the danger, and search his soul to find the secret of trigger the void gate without Joss flames. Master, the closest fallen elder is the 9th elder, and also the head of the armored dragon clan. There are many cultivators there, and it is very chaotic, the old man from the Dark Scorpion clan said as he led the way. Along the way, Wang Lin rarely spoke as the two of them rapidly flew across the star domain. Wang Lin's mind was still filled with what he saw inside the puppet. He seemed to have gained some insight, but there was a layer of fog in the way, making it impossible to see things clearly. Although the Armored Dragon clan is also a small clan, they have over 1,000 members. The head of the clan is at the 4th Heaven's Blight, and when he uses his clan dragon armor spell, no ordinary cultivator can break his protection. The 9th elder is also famous among the Fallen Council, and a small clan like my Dark Scorpion clan wouldn't dare to show them any disrespect. The Dark Scorpion elder told Wang Lin everything he knew about the Armored Dragon clan. After a long time, Wang Lin slowly said, "Does the main planet of the Armored Dragon clan sell the Blazing Fire Mutation Crystal?" The Dark Scorpion elder quickly said, "There are, but the Fire Sparrow clan has been gathering them like crazy. Whenever it appears, they are willing to buy it at any cost, making it difficult to compete with them. The purchase of the crystals and puppets requires us to go to the trade pavilion on the Armored Dragon clan's main planet." The two of them were powerful cultivators who were both flying at full speed. It only took a few hours for them to cross the star domain and travel far from the Dark Scorpion clan. Before Wang Lin was a green cultivation planet. This planet was covered in green and gave off powerful life force. It was also filled with spiritual energy, far better than the Dark Scorpion clan. The moment the two of them closed in, 3 rays of light shot toward them. There was an old man within one of the lights, and he wore a green shirt. He smiled and clasped his hands. Elder predicted the Dark Scorpion clan's patriarch would come, so he told the 3 of yous to wait. "Dark Scorpion Patriarch, please follow the 3 of us." The 2 people behind the old man all clasped their hands and were extremely polite. The Dark Scorpion clan was still one of the 372 clans. Although not a fallen elder, the clan's patriarch was not someone ordinary clan members could show disrespect to. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch smiled and nodded. He let Wang Lin go first and then followed. The 3 people from the Armored Dragon clan lead them toward the planet. When the 3 people of the Armored Dragon clan saw the Dark Scorpion Patriarch's behavior, they were shocked. The old man's eyes lit up and he carefully looked at Wang Lin. Although he didn't notice anything, he began to pay more attention. To make the Dark Scorpion Patriarch act so politely, this person can't be underestimated. Everyone turned into rays of light and closed in on the planet. Just as they were about to enter the atmosphere, Wang Lin noticed something and pretended to casually look back into the distance. Ripples appeared in space and a middle-aged man walked out. The middle-aged man looked at Wang Lin and revealed a gloomy smile. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as if he didn't care, and he turned his head back. He followed them through the atmosphere and disappeared. Wang Lin quickly passed through the atmosphere and his heart was gloomy. That middle-aged man had looked at him first, arousing his vigilance, so he had looked back. This immediately made his mood gloomy. He had briefly seen that person before. He was one of the third-step cultivators chasing Tuo-san when he first entered the ancient star system. Upon seeing him again, Wang Lin was immediately able to tell that this person was not someone of the fallen land, but from the ancient star system. For a third-step cultivator to come here at this time, there was no need to even guess his motive. Wang Lin knew exactly why he was here. He must have come to kill me. However, he probably didn't come with his original body. Otherwise, he wouldn't just have the aura of a fifth heaven's blight cultivator. Of course, he could be hiding his cultivation. He also seemed to dread this place. Otherwise, he would have already attacked. The Sovereign Council is very fast. Fifth Heaven's Blight. A flash of battle intent appeared in Wang Lin's eyes as he revealed a sneer and passed through the planet's atmosphere. In the space outside the Armored Dragon Clan's planet, Master Simo withdrew his gaze and smiled. He didn't think he would meet the person he was looking for as soon as he arrived. His target's appearance and aura had already been recorded by Grandmaster Yun Luo, so he was able to recognize Wang Lin instantly. Unfortunately, I can't act here, or else it will cause too much of a commotion. It would be bad if the Great Emperor were drawn out. However, if he is on a planet, then it will be hard for him to escape. I just need to find the right reason to capture him. Master Simo smiled and his eyes lit up as he looked into the distance. A figure flew over from the distance along with a loud laugh. It was a white-haired old man wearing a blue robe flying out from the Armored Dragon Clan's Cultivation planet. Senior Simo, we haven't met for many years, and you're still looking as good as ever. The old man laughed loudly and origin energy surrounded his body. He gave off the aura of a fourth heaven's blight cultivator. Master Simo laughed and clasped his hands. Fellow cultivator son, it has been a few hundred years since we last met. I'm here to bother you again. How can senior coming be considered a bother? You and I have known each other for a long time. If not for Senior Simo's guidance, I would have died to the third heaven's blight. Senior Simo, please follow me to my cave. The old man laughed. He was the ninth fallen elder, and he normally didn't bother with worldly matters. He was in closed-door cultivation when he received Master Simo's message, and he immediately came out. The two of them chatted as they walked toward the planet, and their figures gradually disappeared. After Wang Lin and the Dark Scorpion Patriarch entered the planet, the three members of the Armored Dragon Clan respectfully left. After they left, the Dark Scorpion Patriarch led Wang Lin to a city on the east side of the planet. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch said in a low voice, Master, if you want to buy puppets or blazing fire mutation crystals, you can only go to the eastern city. There is a shop controlled by the Armored Dragon Clan there. Unless I'm coming for a large auction, I always go there. Wang Lin nodded, but killing intent appeared in his heart. He had originally come to buy some high-rank puppets to study, and if he encountered some blazing fire mutation crystals, he would buy some as well. These crystals could help his fourth awakening. If he absorbed a lot, it would benefit him greatly. In addition, obtaining large amounts of these crystals was also related to how he would take the Fire Sparrow clan's essence. However, after seeing Master Simo, Wang Lin changed his mind. Since the other party had pursued him all the way here, it would be difficult to escape. However, Wang Lin didn't intend to escape. He was planning to fight here. The person hunting me didn't attack due to some concern. He must have come here to find a reason to kill me. Since he has something to worry about, that is for the best. And since he is only displaying Fifth Heaven's Blight cultivation, that means he obviously isn't willing to reveal himself as a third-step cultivator, or it really is just his avatar that is here. If it really is an avatar pursuing me, then I'll let his avatar perish as an example. Although it is only an avatar, I'll still need to prepare. After all, a Fifth Heaven's Blight enemy is not easy to deal with. And although my thunder essence is complete, I still need to be cautious. Wang Lin's expression was cold. After learning where to go, he grabbed the old man and sped up. They turned into a ray of light that shot toward the city. Wang Lin put down the old man and said, Quickly lead the way. The old man saw the killing intent from Wang Lin's body, and his mind trembled. He quickly led Wang Lin through the city and soon arrived before a large pavilion. The pavilion looked very ancient, and just as he walked in, a person walked out. It was a woman who looked around 30 or so. The moment she walked out, a fragrance rushed toward them. "Oh, isn't this Lord Dark Scorpion? Didn't you just come here a few months ago? Could it be that you know that I've obtained some new treasures and came here to check?" The woman's voice was delicate and she revealed a charming smile. Her gaze swept past Wang Lin and a hint of shock arose in her eyes. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch smiled and clasped his hands. "Today I'm only here to accompany this fellow cultivator." The woman smiled and carefully looked at Wang Lin. She leaned over and said, "Fellow cultivator, please follow me upstairs. If you need anything, please just ask." Wang Lin's expression remained calm and he clasped his hands slightly before following the woman upstairs. The second floor wasn't big, with only a few exquisite seats. Wang Lin sat down and looked at the woman. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch stood behind Wang Lin and didn't sit down. When the woman saw this, her eyes revealed a strange light that was very well hidden. She lowered her head and softly said, "I wonder what fellow cultivator needs." "Blazing fire mutation crystals," Wang Lin slowly said as his gaze moved away from the woman and toward the entrance to the second floor. There was a flash of light in his eyes. This old man also wants blazing fire mutation crystal. Just as Wang Lin spoke, a cold voice came from the entrance to the second floor. Shortly after, a person walked out. This person wore a fiery red robe and had disheveled white hair. However, it seemed like there was a sea of fire inside his body, and the temperature inside immediately increased. Every step he took left a fire footprint, but the fire didn't burn the stairs. They seemed to be burning in thin air and gradually disappeared. There was a fire mark between his eyebrows. The fire was lifelike and seemed to be burning. When he arrived on the second floor, his gaze met Wang Lin's gaze. "Cultivator, let this old man have the blazing fire mutation crystals." End quote. Wang Lin smiled. Third Heaven's Blight. Both in the inner realm and the outer realm, clan or sect, a third Heaven's Blight cultivator was a powerhouse that no one would dare to provoke. They all had very high statuses and enjoyed great amounts of power. In the inner realm, if a sect in the rank 8 region in the Cloud Sea had a third Heaven's Blight cultivator, they would be a sect at the pinnacle. Even the rank 9 region didn't have many third Heaven's Blight cultivators. The power of the inner realm was far inferior than that of the outer realm. The old man that appeared before Wang Lin was a third Heaven's Blight cultivator. The Fire Sparrow clan was one of ancient star system's top clans. They had the power to send out a third Heaven's Blight cultivator to become the leader of the Fire Sparrow clan in the Fallen Land. Wang Lin had long noticed the aura of the Fire Sparrow clan before entering. He wasn't surprised by the appearance of this old man at all. After seeing the Fire Sparrow clan in the Fallen Land, Wang Lin smiled. The old man from the Fire Sparrow clan entered the second floor and casually sat down. His eyes lit up and he began observing Wang Lin. Although he looked calm, he was extremely vigilant. He naturally knew the Dark Scorpion Patriarch and what his cultivation level should be. But even someone like him was not qualified to sit down and was standing there like a servant. This made Wang Lin very mysterious in his eyes. In addition, the most important thing was that he couldn't see through Wang Lin's cultivation. No matter how his divine sense spread out, he couldn't find any cultivation aura from Wang Lin, much less figure out what clan Wang Lin was from. The people of the ancient star system didn't always have their marks between their eyebrows. Some powerful cultivators could hide their clan mark, making it impossible for others to detect it. "You want me to let you have the blazing fire mutation crystals?" Wang Lin revealed a smile that wasn't a smile as he looked at the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan. The old man's mind trembled. He almost felt fear when facing Wang Lin. After pondering for a bit, he clasped his hands. "The blazing fire mutation crystals have great use for my Fire Sparrow clan." This old man. When he got to this point, Wang Lin let out a cold snort. This cold snort made it seem as if millions of bolts of thunder had exploded inside the second floor of the pavilion. The charming woman's expression immediately changed. She subconsciously took a few steps back and her face turned pale. As for the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan, his body trembled violently. Facing this sound, he felt like he was hit by a 1,000,000-kilogram carriage. His origin soul trembled, his pupils shrank, and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. The fire inside his body seemed to lose control and erupted from his body. The chair under him was turned to ashes and the flames were about to spread. Wang Lin waved his hand and an invisible wind blew toward the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan. The fire around the old man that had just spread out was extinguished by the wind. Some of it was forced back into the old man's body. The old man's face immediately turned pale, and he immediately retreated. He retreated 3 steps in a row. Every step he took left a deep footprint on the second floor. The footprints were black, as if they were burnt, and white smoke appeared. After 3 steps, the old man let out a roar and all the fire in his body erupted to stop himself from retreating. However, at this moment, Wang Lin's cold gaze met the old man's. Wang Lin's gaze was like a sharp, invisible sword that pierced through the old man's eyes and directly attacked his origin soul with a destructive force. Even the origin energy in the old man's body was unable to stop this invisible sword. He retreated once more, and indescribable fear appeared in his eyes. Inside his body, the invisible sword closed in, but it didn't pierce through his origin soul. Instead, it circled once around his origin soul and gradually disappeared. All of this happened in an instant, but to the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan, it was like a nightmare. He was walking on the line between life and death. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and slowly said, "You can't refer to yourself like this before me." The surroundings were completely silent, and the charming woman took a deep breath. Her gaze toward Wang Lin was filled with respect, and there was a deep sense of awe hidden in her eyes. "Oh, Junior was reckless. I ask Senior to please forgive me. Junior knows he was wrong." The old man from the Fire Sparrow clan was covered in sweat and a huge wave was set off in his mind. He clearly knew that if this man wanted to kill him, it would be extremely easy. He no longer had any of the arrogance he had when he walked out, and he respectfully stood on the side, no longer dared to find a seat to sit on. It was as if no one was qualified to sit before this young man. Wang Lin ignored the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan and casually said, "Bring me all your blazing fire mutation crystals." The charming woman respectfully bowed. Then she took out a jade and squeezed it. The jade began to glow and the woman waved her hand. The jade flew toward the wall before Wang Lin and fused with it. The wall immediately began to move and ripples appeared on it. Shortly after, the wall became transparent, allowing one to see inside clearly. Inside the wall were 3 fist-sized white stones slowly rotating. The charming woman lowered her head and whispered, "Senior, my armored dragon clan doesn't have much blazing fire mutation crystal for sale. There are the only 3 pieces. Originally, fellow cultivator who came first to trade for them. Since Senior wants them too, it does make it difficult on Junior." The old man from the Fire Sparrow clan looked at the 3 white stones and let out a sigh in secret. He clasped his hands. Since Senior wants them, how would Junior dare to compete? Wang Lin's gaze swept past the wall. There was no crystal in the wall, it was merely an image produced by a spell for people to watch. With a wave of his right hand, 3 pills appeared in his grasp. The moment the pills appeared, the power of fire appeared, making it seem as if they were 3 balls of fire. Wang Lin threw the 3 pills toward the charming woman. When the woman saw the 3 pills, her eyes shined and she caught them. After taking a closer look, she explained, "These are soul pills made from the souls of top qualified fire beasts." Wang Lin slowly said, "Is that enough for the crystals?" The charming woman took a deep breath and then took a closer look at the crystals. Then she nodded. "It's enough." Just at this moment, the old man from Fire Sparrow clan said, "Fellow cultivator Zhao, can this old man look at the pills?" Although the old man's expression had remained calm, his heart was a mess. When he saw the pills, he felt an aura that shook his heart. The charming woman looked at the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan with hesitation. However, after seeing Wang Lin that didn't speak and had closed his eyes as if he didn't care, she nodded. She handed 1 pill to the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan. The old man took a deep breath and his divine sense went into one of the pills. His body trembled and his eyes revealed a strange light. Then he took a closer look before closing his eyes. After a long time, he opened his eyes and returned the pill. Although his expression was unchanged, a monstrous wave was set off in his heart. Essence. This is fire essence. This pill contains a trace of fire essence. Although this pill doesn't have much use for others, It has great use for my Fire Sparrow clan. However, where did this essence come from? Wang Lin opened his eyes and casually looked at the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan. He revealed an unnoticeable sneer and slowly said, "Bring over those 3 crystals." The charming woman quickly nodded. She took the 3 pills and then quickly went downstairs. The pavilion became silent, and the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan was still pondering. No one knew what he was thinking. Wang Lin was in no rush. A moment later, footsteps echoed and the charming woman rushed up. However, before her stood a middle-aged man. He wore a Taoist robe and gave off a sense of pressure without showing his anger. The charming woman was following him and looked extremely respectful. The moment the man appeared, the dark scorpion patriarch behind Wang Lin moved. He bent down to Wang Lin's side and whispered, "The Armored Dragon Clan's young master. Strange, he has very high status and rarely comes here." After the man arrived on the 2nd floor, he laughed. He didn't even look at the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan and clasped his hands at Wang Lin. "I'll take Senior's pills. These are the 3 blazing fire mutation crystals." As he spoke, he waved his hand and the 3 white stone appeared in his hand. They floated toward Wang Lin. After seeing Wang Lin put them away, his eyes lit up and he laughed. "Does Senior have more of those pills? Is there anything else you want to trade for?" "I have a lot of pills. I just don't know what you can take out to trade." Wang Lin smiled and looked at the middle-aged man. After being asked the question back, the old man was startled for a moment and said, "Any planet with a fallen elder can sell puppets and blazing fire mutation crystals, but my Armored Dragon clan has 3 treasures. You can only get these 3 treasures from my Armored Dragon clan. The first is the Dragon Scales. 3,982 scales make a set, and they contain the blood of my clan. After using a spell with it, it can form multiple layers of protection. No ordinary treasures can break through. It can even block some spells." After this, he looked at Wang Lin and said, "There is also the 2nd treasure, White Bone Dragon. This dragon was made from refining the skeletons of dead Armored Dragon clan members for generations. There aren't many, but each White Bone Dragon has earth-shattering force. Also, they are already dead, so they will live forever." "Oh, what about the 3rd treasure?" Wang Lin smiled. The Armored Dragon clan's young master smiled and slowly said, "The 3rd treasure of my Armored Dragon clan is the strongest. It is called the Dragon Collapse Pill. You don't consume these pills. Instead, they explode and injure the enemy. One is not powerful, but with hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, their power is endless. Of my Armored Dragon clan's 3 treasures, the latter 2 were gifted to us by the Great Emperor. Only my Armored Dragon clan possessed them." Wang Lin's eyes lit up. After pondering for a bit, he said, "I don't want the Dragon Scales or the White Bone Dragon. However, I'm interested in the Dragon Collapse Pill. Let me look at one." The Armored Dragon clan's young master reached at the void and used some unknown method to cause a white pill to appear in his hand. He threw the pill and it flew toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin caught it and took a closer look. This pill contained 4 auras. These 4 auras were extremely chaotic and formed a strange balance. Once this balance was broken, the resulting explosion would be equal to the attack of a Nirvana Scryer cultivator. 1 soul pill for 100 of these pills. Wang Lin's words were firm. The Armored Dragon clan's young master pondered for a bit. Then his eyes lit up and he nodded. "Okay. I wonder how many Dragon Collapse Pill Senior wants to exchange?" 10,000. The Armored Dragon clan young master's pupils shrank and he nodded. 10,000 Dragon Collapse pills are enough to threaten a first Heaven's Blight cultivators. He waved his right hand and there was a flash of light. Dragon Collapse pills fell out one by one, forming a small mountain. Wang Lin waved his sleeve and then, after collecting all 10,000 pills, he left behind 100 soul pills. He got up and left, and the Dark Scorpion Patriarch quickly got up and followed. After leaving the pavilion, Wang Lin revealed a sneer. He turned around toward the Dark Scorpion Patriarch and ordered, "Go back to the Dark Scorpion clan first. I have some personal matters to deal with." The Dark Scorpion Patriarch nodded. He was afraid to ask why and quickly left. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. He slowly walked within the Armored Dragon clan city. He had set the bait and was now just waiting for the target to bite. I charged directly into the Scatter Thunder clan before, but for the Fire Sparrow clan, I'll have them send me in. Wang Lin walked for a while and then turned around shortly after. You followed me the entire way. Are you looking for death? Wang Lin's voice was cold. When his voice echoed, ripples appeared 100 feet behind him. The old man from the Fire Sparrow clan walked out. He looked extremely respectful and clasped his hands. Senior, please don't be angry. Junior has followed Senior to make it raid. Wang Lin didn't speak. He only coldly looked at the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan. Sweat came from the old man's forehead and he quickly said, Junior has a large amount of blazing fire mutation crystals. If Senior wants, Senior can trade for them all. Junior only wants those pills. Wang Lin casually asked, How many blazing fire mutation crystals do you have? I have 100 pieces the same size as the one Senior saw before. The old man's mind was shaken by Wang Lin's share. After just a few sentences, his clothes had been soaked. Wang Lin calmly said, Bring them over. The old man hesitated for a bit. Then he clenched his teeth and his right hand hit the fire mark between his eyebrows. Then a ball of blue fire flew out toward Wang Lin. After Wang Lin caught it, he immediately noticed that this small flame was like a bag of holding, and inside were 100 crystals. Although they were of varying sizes, on average they weren't much different. Wang Lin took out 100 soul pills and threw it to the old man. Then Wang Lin took a step and disappeared from the city. When he reappeared, Wang Lin was already standing on the top of a mountain. With a wave of his hand, the 10,000 dragon collapse pills appeared in surrounding the area. Wang Lin's eyes became cold and he sneered. Although soul pills are expensive, one doesn't have the same value as 100 of these pills, each of which are equal to the attack of a Nirvana Scryer cultivator. Armored Dragon Clan, since you want to get involved, then don't blame me for being ruthless. He sneered and waved his right hand. Then his cultivation spread out. The fire tattoo in his left eye flew out and a sea of fire immediately surrounded the 10,000 dragon collapse pills. Refine, Wang Lin said, and the fire turned blue. As it swept by, the dragon collapse pills popped. The pills began to melt under this intense heat. Dao spell fuse. Everything in this world, be it spells, treasures, power, law, all fuse for me. Dao Master Blue Dream's Dao spell was very powerful and was of great help to Wang Lin. At this moment, with the help of the fire and the Dao spell, the 10,000 dragon collapse pills began to gradually use. The temperature of the fire became stronger and stronger. A golden pill the size of a nail appeared in the sea of fire. In the end, Wang Lin's right hand reached out and all the fire went inside the pill. This small pill contained a heaven-shattering destructive force. It was no longer 4 auras fused together, but 5. The extra aura was the power of fire. As a result, the power of the pill had increased greatly. 10,000 pills fused into one, and there no loss of power. As a result, it is comparable to the self-destruction of a first Heaven's Blight cultivator. With the fused Dao spell, a change occurred, and it became infinitely close to a second Heaven's Blight self-destruction. Then I added the 5th aura, which is fire. Now the pill can display the power of a third Heaven's Blight cultivator exploding. Wang Lin's right eye flashed and thunder appeared. It turned into a thunder tattoo and flew into the golden pill. Popping sounds echoed from the golden pill, and it began to fuse once more. As it fused, the world changed colors and thunder began to gather, entering the pill. 6 auras. Adding on the Scatter Thunder Clan spell, it can hurt 4th Heaven's Blight cultivators. Wang Lin's eyes were filled killing intent. He bit the tip of his tongue and spat out blood. This was ancient god blood, and it contained essence origin energy from his origin soul. The blood landed on the golden pill. The golden pill immediately turned dim from the blood and gave off a blood-colored glow. This blood was filled with killing intent. Adding my ancient god blood and essence energy, it will be powerful enough to threaten 5th Heaven's Blight cultivators. Wang Lin waved his right hand and the blazing fire mutation crystals he had obtained flew out. Fire from Wang Lin's left eye surrounded the crystals and they began to fuse. These crystals can't make my vermilion bird awaken for the 4th time. But with my control of fire, I can turn them into treasures. The destructive force won't be weaker than the dragon collapse pill I just re-refined. Wang Lin didn't hesitate to use the Dao spell to fuse them. A vermilion bird mark vaguely appeared in his left eye, making the fire even stronger. Fifth Heaven's Blight, so what? If you really came with your avatar, then I'll make you go extinct right here. If you came with your original body and use your third step cultivation, I don't believe you will survive. After all, a third step cultivator can easily destroy the entire fallen land. Even if no one stops you, at most I'll just escape here. The bait has already been set at the Fire Sparrow clan, so they will naturally come and find me. Wang Lin let out a cold snort, and the fire before him shrank. All the blazing fire mutation crystals had been refined into a dark blue crystal. Not only did it contain fire essence, but there was also the shadow of a vermilion bird. The killing intent in Wang Lin's eyes became even stronger. He raised his right hand at the sky and two deer beasts appeared. The moment they appeared, Wang Lin shouted, "There is still one more seal on the broken swords that were stabbed into the deer corpse. I want to see if I can open it now that my thunder essence is complete." As he spoke, thunder rumbled inside his body and gathered in his index finger. The thunder formed a net, and popping sounds echoed like crazy from his finger. 1 ray, 2 rays, 100 rays, 1,000 rays, 10,000 rays, 1,000,000 rays of sword energy erupted from the thunder net and continued to increase. Finally, the 10,000,000 rays of sword energy broke out from the limitation of the thunder net. In an instant, the entire sky was covered in sword energy and endless killing intent spread out. 10 million, 20 million, until it finally stopped at 39.99 million. I still can't completely break the seal, but I broke part of it, allowing the power of the sword energy to increase greatly. Now it's time to battle. Wang Lin stood up and let out a loud laugh. "I'm waiting here for you, do you dare to fight?" His laugh was heaven-shaking with the intent to challenge, and it spread out in all directions. At this moment, all the cultivators on the planet clearly heard this. In a residence in the city on the eastern side of planet, the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan stood there with a solemn expression. There were 7 other Fire Sparrow clan members standing beside him. They couldn't hide the shock in their eyes. The 100 soul pills were being burned by fire before the old man and were gradually melting. Even the souls were burnt until they dissipated, leaving only a drop of blood. It gave off a demonic glow. Just as I expected, the reason these pills contain essence is because of this drop of blood. What kind of blood is this? The old man from the Fire Sparrow clan took a deep breath, but just at this moment, a laugh filled with the intent to challenge and killing intent echoed. The old man from the Fire Sparrow clan suddenly raised his head and looked up. At the same time, in the holy land of the Armored Dragon clan, the clan patriarch and Master Simo was sitting inside a pavilion. Before them stood a man. He was the Armored Dragon clan's young master. "Father, I've already gifted the 10,000 dragon collapse pills, as you've ordered." The Armored Dragon patriarch's expression was gloomy as he looked at Master Simo at the side and said, "This person stole 10,000 dragon collapse pills from my Armored Dragon clan. I ask Master Simo to help me capture this person. I'll greatly reward Senior once he is caught." Master Simo revealed a smile. Just as he was about to speak, a laugh echoed across the sky. The laugh was a challenge. It was also cold and filled with endless killing intent. "I'm waiting here for you, do you dare to fight?" Master Simo's expression changed and he suddenly stood up. His eyes were like thunder as he looked into the distance. His gaze seemed to be able to penetrate all barriers. His gaze extended into the distance and saw Wang Lin standing up straight on the mountain peak. I underestimated his cunning. However, before absolute power, it's all useless. Master Simo sneered as he stepped forward and then disappeared without a trace. Only the father and son duo from the Armored Dragon clan remained, their expressions gloomy. "Father, that cultivator's cultivation level is high and he is not simple. He was hiding here and we?" The young master of the Armored Dragon clan said softly. The Armored Dragon patriarch gloomily said, "Of course he is not someone simple. If I'm not wrong, he's the person who wiped out the Scatter Thunder clan and killed their head elder. Then he was hunted by the Sovereign Council and sealed 100,000 cultivators." "What?" The Armored Dragon clan's young master was startled and his expression changed greatly. Otherwise, why would a third-step cultivator like Master Simo come here? If not for his cultivation being so powerful, how could your father help him? After all, the person who destroyed the Scatter Thunder clan isn't a third-step cultivator. Or else why would I help Master Simo? The Armored Dragon clan's young master pondered a bit and then softly said, "If Senior Simo succeeds, it'll be fine, but if there is no possibility. Even if he doesn't die, he will be seriously injured. He will be trying his best to escape to heal, much less deal with us. Even if he does come find trouble for us, I'll make it so he will never leave. Your father is, after all, ninth fallen elder and a representative of the fallen council. He won't dare." The Armored Dragon patriarch looked proud as he waved his sleeve and left. Wang Lin's expression was calm, revealing no emotion as he looked up at the sky. He had his hands behind his back and his white robe flapped in the wind. If one looked at him from a distance, he looked like a celestial. He stood there and seemed to fuse with the world itself. He was heaven. He was earth. The child from 2,000 years ago had now grown up and stood at the peak of cultivation. He even dared to challenge third-step cultivators. Even if the third-step cultivator was only here with his avatar, and only had fifth heaven's blight cultivation. However, in this world, both in the inner realm and the outer realm aside from Wang Lin, how many dared to challenge third-step cultivators? Right now, Wang Lin contained the aura of a master of a generation. Below his calm nature hid a heaven-defying storm and monstrous killing intent. He dared to fight the heavens, fight against fate, and fight the Tao. This was Wang Lin. The heavenly Tao wanted to steal Li Muan's life, but he had risked it all for a chance of survival. He had condensed Joss flames but then abandoned them, relying only on his 5 essences to trigger the Great Void Gate. He walked down an ancient path that almost no one knew of anymore. He had led the people of the 7 million worlds to break through heaven and out of their prison. He had killed the Scatter Thunder clan's head elder even though his cultivation level was lower. He had used his own power to charge through the ancient star system to bring Li Qianmei home. He had caused chaos in the ancient star system, and was being hunted by the entire ancient star system. With all he had done, even Qing Shuang would sigh and knew she was no match. This was Wang Lin. He walked the world not seeking immortality, but to live right without regrets and do nothing he felt ashamed of. Sword energy filled the world, and only one was missing from reaching 40 million rays of sword energy. The clouds scattered, and at this moment, it was impossible to tell if the world contained sword energy, or if the sword energy contained a world. When Wang Lin's right hand pointed, the almost 40 million rays of sword energy began to gather. It was as if a vortex had appeared at the tip of Wang Lin's finger, and moved all the sword energy. In just an instant, the nearly 40 million rays of sword energy disappeared and fused with Wang Lin's right index finger. This finger contained heaven-shattering force. Just one finger contained the power of 40 million rays of sword energy. A thunderous rumble echoed in the sky and a vortex appeared in the distance. The vortex connected the heavens and earth. It quickly closed in with a thunderous rumble. Master Simo was inside the vortex. To dare to challenge me, Master Simo. You've got guts. Master Simo's voice echoed as he charged at Wang Lin from inside the vortex. It looked like Master Simo had sucked the power of the heavens to form this vortex, which then became a spell to attack Wang Lin. You sure have a lot of crap to say. Wang Lin's expression was calm, and when Master Simo arrived, his hands formed a seal. Mountain crumble. At this moment, illusory volcanoes appeared around Wang Lin. With Wang Lin's cultivation level, he was stronger than back when Qing Shui was still injured. Illusory volcanoes appeared one by one. The rumbles formed a shocking sound wave that spread far and wide. Wang Lin was surrounded by volcanoes. His expression was calm, but his eyes were filled with powerful killing intent. Master Simo's expression became serious. He wouldn't dare to underestimate the power of someone who could trigger the Void Gate without any Joss flames. At this moment, his hands formed a seal and he waved. The vortex around him flew out and charged at Wang Lin. At the same time, Wang Lin's finger that was pointed at the sky mercilessly swung down. Mountain first crumble. As Wang Lin's voice echoed, the volcanoes began to rumble. Black smoke came out from the volcanoes, covering the sky, and collided with the vortex. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the sky, creating a powerful shockwave that spread in all directions. The sky trembled and the earth cracked. At this instant, the cultivation planet began to tremble. Mountain second crumble, third crumble. The volcanoes erupted and red lava shot out toward the vortex. At this moment, the rumbles were loud enough to shatter one's eardrums. A crack that connected the heavens and earth appeared in this world. In the sky it was a spatial crack, and on the earth it connected with the deep rift that had appeared. Mountain fourth crumble, fifth crumble. As Wang Lin's voice echoed, the volcanoes began to overlap until they formed one real volcano, and it began its destructive eruption. However, although this volcano looked extremely real, it had no soul and was merely formed by a spell. At this moment, Wang Lin jumped into the air and his right hand reached at the earth. He shouted, "Since this volcano has no soul, then I'll grant it a soul. Extract the souls of all the mountains on this planet." As Wang Lin's voice echoed, the cultivation planet trembled and the earth rumbled as if a dragon was moving underground. One of the mountains instantly collapsed into a pile of rocks. It was as if its supports had all given out at once. Their souls, their supports were all extracted by Wang Lin completely. Mountains collapsed one by one as their mountain souls were extracted. The mountain souls flew out and instantly gathered in Wang Lin's hand. There were no mountains remaining on this planet. The only thing left were piles of rocks. Wang Lin held all the mountain souls from the planet and threw it. The mountain souls fused with the volcano just as Master Simo's vortex arrived. At this instant, the volcano formed by Mountain Crumble had a soul. Its soul was extremely powerful, as if it was formed by countless mountain souls. Now this volcano was finally a real volcano. At this moment, Mountain Crumble finally reached completion. Mountain ninth crumble. Wang Lin jumped directly to the final crumble. The volcano rumbled and a thunderous rumble echoed as if a storm was breaking out. The volcano shattered, forming a storm filled with rocks, lava, black smoke, and the mountain soul. This storm collided directly with Master Simo's vortex. A destructive aura spread out and landed on Wang Lin's body. His clothes flapped violently and his hair fluttered. His face was pale, but not only did he not retreat, he charged at Master Simo. Master Simo's expression was also pale. When the shockwave hit him, his body turned into a ray of light and he charged out. Mountain Crumble? This is by Fan's spell. Master Simo moved like lightning and charged out of the shockwave. His hands formed a seal and he waved his hand. His coldly shouted, "Heaven as painting." After he shouted, the sky changed and countless ripples appeared in the air. Distortions appeared and all other colors disappeared until it was pure white. This white was like a painting. There were countless shadows forming mountains and rivers. "Earth as ink," Master Simo roared. Then the earth rumbled and turned completely black. At this moment it was as if the earth had become ink. "I'm the pen, one pen to break the heaven. Complete my heaven-breaking Tao." Master Simo waved his right hand as if it were a pen. The world changed as he waved his hand like he was forming his own world. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. When he discussed Tao with Li Qianmei, they also talked about spells, and he had also obtained Sima Mo's jade. All of this allowed him to learn of a famous spell in the Heaven-Breaking sect. It was called the Heaven-Breaking Tao. Only the sect master and head elder of the Heaven-Breaking sect could learn it. It was extremely powerful. Master Simo. Master Simo. Could he be? Master Simo was between the painting and the ink. As he waved his hand, the ink that was the earth began to move. He was like a pen, drawing mountains and rivers on the painting. With only a few strokes he drew the planet they were on. Wang Lin's figure also appeared in the painting. "Even if it is just my avatar, I can still kill you with the heaven-breaking Tao." Master Simo's eyes became cold as he raised his right hand and was about to viciously swing down. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light and he shouted, "Heaven-breaking Sex Sima Mo." His voice was like thunder and rumbled across the world as if it was the roar of heaven. Master Simo's hands paused for a moment and he stared at Wang Lin. Just at this instant, Wang Lin stepped forward. He raised his right hand and pointed forward. The heavens changed colors and clouds scattered. Wang Lin's figure disappeared and then reappeared before Master Simo. His right hand mercilessly pressed down between Master Simo's eyebrows. Master Simo's expression changed greatly. Due to Wang Lin's roar, he had missed the best opportunity to use the skill. At this moment he didn't have time to think as he waved his right hand down. One stroke to break the heavens and earth. With one stroke, the mountain and river in the painting were torn apart. Everything collapsed and even Wang Lin's figure in the painting began to distort. A tearing force came from Wang Lin's body and turned into intense pain. Wang Lin's face became pale and blood rushed up his throat, but he suppressed it. Killing intent filled his eyes as his finger mercilessly pointed forward. The power of this one finger was shocking to Master Simo. He quickly retreated while lifting the ink from the earth to block before him. He vaguely felt a life and death crisis from Wang Lin's finger that he hadn't felt in a long time. What kind of spell is this? The black ink instantly blocked before Wang Lin and collided with his finger. At this moment, rays of sword energy erupted from his finger. This was one of Wang Lin's aces, one of the 3 killing moves Wang Lin had prepared for Master Simo. Sword energy shot out like crazy. 1 ray, 10 rays, 100 rays, 1,000 rays, 10,000 rays, 100,000 rays, 1 million rays, 10 million rays. The finger contained a total of 39,999,999 rays of sword energy, and adding Wang Lin's finger, it was 40 million rays of sword energy. The power of 40 million rays of sword energy was heaven-shattering, and they all appeared at once. The 2 deer appeared around Wang Lin's finger. Master Simo's pupils shrank and disbelief filled his eyes. This is... The resulting thunderous rumble was heaven-shaking. The ink formed by the earth instantly collapsed when it collided with the sword energy. The sword energy pierced through the ink and shot directly at Master Simo. The 40 million rays of sword energy formed a storm, with Wang Lin as the center. This storm was filled with sword energy and gave off a powerful sword aura. There was a constant shrill coming from the rotating sword energy. From afar it looked like tens of thousands of snakes flying, and it was a shocking sight. All of this happened in an instant. In the blink of an eye, the finger with 40 million rays of sword energy landed on Master Simo's body. He coughed out blood and his body immediately moved. It was as if his body was being torn apart, but his hands quickly formed a seal. It wasn't that his body had collapsed, but he had used a special method to avoid Wang Lin's killing move and appeared 10,000 feet away. When he reappeared, an extremely strange scene unfolded before him. There was another sky above the sky and another earth below the earth. The heaven-breaking spell would create another world that would act as a prison. It could also fuse with the enemy, and breaking the painting was the same as breaking the world and using that to kill them. Wang Lin was surrounded by the world formed by the heaven-breaking spell, and was unable to get out. Master Simo's expression was ferocious. His hands formed a seal and he suddenly opened his arms. Then he quickly closed his arms and roared, "Break the heavens!" When he roared, the world Wang Lin was in rumbled and the painting in the sky began to tear. Wang Lin's figure inside the painting distorted even more. At this instant, all the cultivators on the cultivation planet were shaken. The old man from the Fire Sparrow clan and the people around him had long since began observing the battle with their divine senses. Watching the scene unfold, fear filled his eyes and there was a complicated expression on his face. This person will die without a doubt. The heaven-breaking spell is indeed worthy of its name. Master Simo! Master Simo! I didn't expect him to come. Then the identity of the person who traded me the pills is obvious. Unfortunately, I don't know where the blood from the soul pills came from. The old man from the Fire Sparrow clan shook his head. He had already determined that Wang Lin was going to die. In the holy land of the Armored Dragon clan, the young master had also spread out his divine sense to observe and finally relaxed a bit. This person is very strong, but unfortunately he can't escape Master Simo's spell. The heaven-breaking spell is amazing. It can form its own world to break. The Armored Dragon Patriarch also withdrew his gaze from the sky and relaxed a bit. He doesn't know his own limit. Master Simo is a third-step cultivator, so even though he only came with his avatar, Master Simo is not someone he can deal with. Even though he killed the Scatter Thunder clan's head elder, he is powerless before Master Simo. However, for him to hurt Master Simo, he is already not simple. Luckily, he has no chance of survival, or else if he came looking for trouble, it would be difficult to deal with him. However, just as everyone was sure Wang Lin couldn't escape, a chance arose. Intense pain appeared in Wang Lin's body and his eyes were bloodshot. The 40 million rays of sword energy surrounding him shot into the sky. 40 million rays of sword energy. Break this painting of heaven and earth for me. Break, break, break. Wang Lin seemed to turn into a ray of light, but it was more like a ray of sword energy made of his body. This ray of sword energy became an extra sword energy among the 40 million rays of sword energy. The storm of sword energy surrounding him gave off a destructive aura and brought Wang Lin toward the painting in the sky. At this instant, the storm collided with the painting. The 40 million rays of sword energy began to slam into the painting, and endless rumbles echoed across the world. Break open! Wang Lin's voice was hoarse as pain came in waves from his body. He coughed out blood and his expression was ferocious. He waved his right hand and the rays of sword energy became even more fierce. Thunderous rumbles echoed and the world formed by the heaven-breaking spell shattered. The world collapsed and turned into a shockwave that swept across the planet. Wang Lin broke free. The moment he broke free, the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan opened his eyes with disbelief and sucked in a breath of cold air. Not only him, even the Armored Dragon clan's young master was terrified. He subconsciously took a few steps back and exclaimed, This. There was also the Armored Dragon Patriarch. His expression also changed and became extremely gloomy. Sima Mo, our battle has just begun. Wang Lin charged out and his right hand pointed at the sky. He shouted, Since you tried to pierce the heavens, then I'll flip the heaven. As Wang Lin spoke, the world appeared inside his eyes and suddenly rotated. The sky became the earth and the earth became the sky. At this moment, the world outside rumbled and began to reverse. Dao Master Blue Dream's Heaven Reversal Spell. Master Simo's expression became serious and he waved his right hand. For the first time he took out a treasure. A 100-foot-long flag appeared beside him. There were countless restrictions on it. They all appeared at once and gave off the power of time. Time restriction. The 100-foot flag opened and the time restriction flew out. Tens of thousands of restrictions surrounded Master Simo, forming a restriction vortex. At this moment the world reversed. The sky was under your feet and the earth was above your head. It was a scene that could shock anyone. The Armored Dragon Patriarch's pupils shrank violently. This person has Dao Master Blue Dream's spell. Humph, even so, I'm certain he will die to Master Simo's spell. Wang Lin let out a roar and slammed his hand down. The world rumbled and the sky began to smash down toward Master Simo. Master Simo was surrounded by the time restriction, and his eyes revealed a strange light. Time restriction dissipate in time. Whether it is the heavens or earth, all will dissipate in the flow of time. Master Simo's arms opened and the time restriction spread out to resist the world. The world began to rumble and became desolate, showing signs of collapse. Forbidden time spell, end of time. Master Simo's voice echoed loudly. Wang Lin's pupils shrank and he was about to use a spell. However, just at this moment a laugh appeared. It was very faint, but it entered the ears of every being on the planet. Interesting. If you can beat this third-step cultivator's avatar in 5 breaths of time, I promise your safety in the fallen land. In the holy land of the Armored Dragon clan, the expression of the 9th fallen elder, the Armored Dragon Patriarch, changed greatly, and he exclaimed, Great Emperor! Master Simo's expression also changed greatly and panic appeared on his face. The voice that came from the void echoed once more. 5 breaths. The time for one to take 5 breaths, calling it an instant might be too fast, but it was just a bit slower than lightning flashing across the sky. Whether it was the Armored Dragon Patriarch, the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan, or Master Simo, none of them believed it was possible to end the battle in 5 breaths of time. After all, the enemy Wang Lin faced was Master Simo. However, after Wang Lin heard this, his eyes shined brightly. Before the echo of one dissipated, Wang Lin waved his hand and erupted his full cultivation. End of time was a spell Master Simo had comprehended himself from the time restriction, similar to Wang Lin's flowing time. Now that he had used this spell, a storm erupted from the time restrictions. The reversing world trembled violently under this storm. The sky became a sickly yellow and pus began to appear. The pus began to gather and then ruptured, releasing large amounts of dark yellow liquid. The entire world became desolate. Countless cracks appeared on the earth and continued to spread as if the earth was rapidly aging. This all happened in an instant. The sky and earth closing and suddenly collapsed under this spell. The moment the world collapsed, the vortex formed by the time restriction swept up the world and charged toward Wang Lin with an unimaginable destructive aura. At this moment, the echo of the word one was still strong. Wang Lin's entire cultivation erupted and a powerful light erupted from his body. In his eyes, everything in the world gave of light and gathered around him to form a large light silhouette. Light and shadow shield. When the time storm arrived, the light shadow shield formed and collided with it. The large light silhouette around Wang Lin flashed violently and flickered. When it collided, it caused the flow of time on Wang Lin to increase several-fold. If it was someone else, it would be very difficult for them to resist this time-based spell. However, Wang Lin had also comprehended his own time spell. It was the second spell he had created in his life, flowing time. The moment the time vortex collided with him, Wang Lin waved his right hand. The world rumbled and a large stone door appeared. This stone door gave off a desolate aura which fused with Wang Lin. From a distance, Wang Lin seemed to be standing on the stone gate and was shrouded by the power of time. No matter how much the world raged around him, he didn't move at all. Only his hair moved in the wind, giving him an ethereal feeling. Also at this moment, the light and shadow shield shined brightly and a reflective force began to build. Master Simo's expression changed as he took a step forward without any hesitation and pressed his hand down. With this press, a heaven-shaking palm print appeared. It contained all the power he could use at the fifth heaven's blight, and was filled with killing intent. It immediately broke through the time restriction around the light and shadow shield and collided with it. Waves of thunderous rumbles echoed in all directions and the light and shadow shield collapsed. However, the moment it collapsed, Wang Lin let out a roar and formed a second one. This repeated again. In this brief moment, 3 light and shadow shields appeared. After the third time, the shield collapsed. However, the moment it collapsed, it reflected a majority of the power of the time restrictions and palm print back at the incoming Master Simo. 2. The voice echoed across the void once more. There were still 3 breaths left. No one who was strong enough to observe this battle with their divine sense believed Wang Lin could win in 3 breaths of time. When the word 2 echoed, there was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. When the light and shadow shield collapsed, he was also affected by the impact and coughed out blood. However, he let out a loud laugh and charged forward. As he charged out, Wang Lin launched his killing move. He was fast beyond imagination and the thunder tattoo appeared in his right eye. The thunder had 9 types of accompanying thunder, and immediately formed a giant thunder tattoo before Wang Lin. This thunder tattoo was heaven-shaking. The thunder essence was powerful and the 9 accompanying thunders rumbled loudly. This was especially true for the last 3 accompanying thunders, G-Thunder, Bloodline Thunder, and Defying Thunder. These 3 thunders erupted with great power, causing the thunder tattoo to shine brightly. In a flash, countless silver snakes appeared in the sky. They filled their skill and began to gather toward the thunder tattoo. This thunder tattoo was heaven-shaking, and when it appeared, Wang Lin pushed it forward. It launched its attack on Master Simo just like how it attacked the Void Gate. The thunder tattoo filled the sky and charged at Master Simo. Master Simo's expression was serious. Along the entire way, he had dreaded Wang Lin's thunder spell the most. Although he had never experienced it himself, recalling Wang Lin's attempts to break the Void Gate was enough to make his skin crawl. At this moment, when he saw the thunder tattoo, he recalled the scene of when Wang Lin attempted to break the Void Gate. He waved his hand and the time restriction wrapped around him. Let's see if your thunder is stronger than my time restrictions. Wang Lin moved like thunder and pushed the thunder tattoo. It absorbed the endless thunder that had appeared from the void. It was like a bolt of eternal heavenly thunder and descended on Master Simo like divine retribution. The two got closer and closer, and that voice from the void echoed once more. 3. As the word 3 echoed, Wang Lin's body fused with the thunder tattoo, and it was impossible to tell them apart. The thunder tattoo collided with Master Simo's time restrictions. The resulting thunderous rumble was heaven-shaking and spread in all directions. Under this violent impact, the time restrictions around Master Simo trembled and collapsed. Under the powerful force of the thunder, the shattered time restrictions smashed toward Master Simo. As the time restrictions smashed toward him, the thunder tattoo closed in. All of this happened too fast. In an instant, the thunder tattoo imprinted on his chest. Master Simo's face turned pale and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. He wasn't able to suppress it as he retreated. Thunder covered his chest and crackling sounds echoed. His injuries got worse as he retreated. He looked horrified. Although he already thought highly of Wang Lin, he still couldn't believe how powerful the thunder was. Even time had to collapse before that thunder. Wang Lin was also hit by the time restrictions when the thunder and time restrictions collided. In an instant, his face turned old and wrinkly and he became an old man. However, the next instant, endless vitality erupted from Wang Lin's body and reversed the aging. He returned to normal, but his face was extremely pale. It was obvious that facing the avatar of a third-step cultivator was an extremely difficult battle for him. Seeing Master Simo retreat, there was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes and monstrous killing intent erupted as he gave chase. However, at this moment, that voice echoed from the void once more. 4. Before the voice finished, Wang Lin's laugh interrupted it. He pierced through the sky at full speed and caught up to the retreating Master Simo. Then he waved his hand. A golden pill the size of a fingernail appeared from the void and shot toward Master Simo at an unimaginable speed. It was too fast, and in the blink of an eye, it arrived 100 feet from Master Simo. Without waiting for the golden pill to get closer, Wang Lin roared without hesitation. Explode! As he roared, a heaven-shattering rumble echoed. It sounded like a cultivation planet exploding, and the shockwave traveled into the distance along with the destructive force. Master Simo was too close and he coughed out blood once more. Terror appeared in his eyes. He didn't expect Wang Lin to have a treasure like this. When he was hit by the explosion of the pill, he felt like the flesh on his body was going to be torn off and even his bones were going to shatter. If it wasn't for the fact that his original body was at the third step and therefore he was able to gather a large amount of resources to refine an almost invincible body, an ordinary cultivator would have long died. Master Simo had refined this avatar after he found that he was trapped at the early stage of Nirvana Void for too long and couldn't get too many Tao spirits. He had refined this avatar hoping it would reach the third step and help improve his cultivation. As Master Simo's avatar was pushed back by the explosion, Wang Lin took a step forward and waved his right hand. The blaze fire mutation crystals he had refined was thrown out. Explode! Wang Lin roared as the blazing fire mutation crystals closed in on Master Simo. Just as the golden pill had exploded, the crystals began a second round of destruction. All of this sounds long, but in reality it all happened in an instant. Not good. The armored dragon patriarch had been paying close attention to this battle. When he saw this, his expression changed greatly.